hopefully I'm getting a little bit better with these intros. So welcome to session 6 of Misadventures on the Astral Sea. Just to give a little quick wrap up, we wrapped up with maybe one of some of my favorite events that ever happened. The party going out hunting the Thalgu went pretty smoothly overall, ending in a fairly nice little twist of surfing a, for lack of a better term, fecal wave through the sewer, and, you know, resolving that little issue. They proved it with their bucket of brains that they had succeeded in their mission, and Crumb said that he would get them into contact with at least one of the major systems in the area. He said it would take about a week, so, you know, they're just killing time at the moment. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about that last one. Oh, and I guess there was a couple of cute little moments where chat made friends with an Odiug that seems to have been very happy with the, you know, wave of food that was provided to it.
Odie and I are BFFs, so I'm coming back to Priam one day. Just realize it makes me sound like a man.
One day you guys are going to need a bigger ship.
We are going to need a bigger boat.
The secondary ship is actually just going to be Chat's menagerie. That's it.
Yeah, obviously. But it'll look just like the Peterbilt semi from the reel I made earlier.
Just full of animals all sticking their heads out. Yeah, let's dive right in. We'll start off quickly with our intros. As always, we have Valerius, our paladin.
My name is Cade. I'm playing Valerius Strongarm. I don't know why. If you see me doing weird things with my mouth today, by the way, I went to the dentist for the first time in a decade, and my mouth feels funny, and I don't like it. But yeah, so I'm playing Valerius. He's a paladin who, just between sessions, has multi-classed in Barbarian. So now he can smite and rage, and I'm very excited about it.
They call that smrage.
Smrage.
Sounds like a disease.
It does. Did you catch smage?
You could just call it right, too. That works.
Mm-hmm. No, I like smage. Smage sounds like something you've been vaccinated for as a child. Yeah.
Only if you're Canadian.
Yeah.
We have Nadir, our party's cleric.
Hey everybody, Rune Ortega. I'm playing the cleric auto gnome named Nadir, and I'm a prototype. But yeah, I just leveled up to 6th level, so I am looking forward to doing some Domain of Mercy from the Tome of Heroes.
Ooh.
Deadly. We have our ranger Chat.
Hi, I'm Rick. I play Chat. I'm from the Hammer of the Gods. I like how so far everybody said I just leveled up. We all just leveled up. We're all 6th level.
Just them.
Yeah. And Chat took his first level of Rogue. He's a little baby Rogue now.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Getting that sneak attack damage.
And the expertise. I didn't even notice that until it told me I hadn't filled it in right a minute ago. So, yeah.
Rogue is a deadly one-level dip.
Yeah.
It has a lot that comes with the first level.
I went from, I think, like a -2 to Persuasion to I now have a +4. So I can talk to people.
Impressive.
And last we have Kiaki, our party's artificer.
Hey, I'm Kayla. I'm playing Kiaki, the blue-skinned Vidalcan artificer. I also leveled up.
No way!
But I'm level 7. No,
So weird.
Yep, level 6. I learned 2 new infusions, and I chose to infuse my dagger with an infusion that allows it to come back to my hand after I throw it.
Nice.
Ooh,
I really
I love
like
that
that one.
idea. That's like one of my favorite fantasy things, is like someone who's
And
able to
it's,
throw their weapon and either it boomerangs back or teleports back. So cool.
And it gives it a +1, so I've got a +5 dagger right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
My
awesome.
favorite's the crossbow, and then you infuse your crossbow bolt with that, so it just becomes
That's
an automatic crossbow.
But yeah, let's dive right into it. This is going to be a little bit more of a focus story. So sorry, everybody, you're getting railroaded a little bit here. Choices will come probably in the next session. So yeah,
That's it. I'm ending the stream. This is bullshit.
I like
mean,
trains.
you can rock the rails, obviously. I'm always down for that, but you do have somewhat of a path today. I mean, you always have a path. It's not like I give you guys that many options so far. Although technically you have a ship in an entire universe, and you could decide you go somewhere wherever you want. I can't really stop you.
2 ships.
Soon to be 2 ships. The other one's still getting worked on.
Technically, if you count
1.5 ships.
Jeff, well, if you count Jeff, then we have 3 ships.
Oh man, I think that counts as at least a ship on its own.
I mean, it
2.5
can carry you
ships.
here. So, yeah.
It has some saddles.
Ooh, I have an extra saddle still, I think.
I mean, really,
can't-
I have a giant fly too, so that's 4 ships.
Yeah, no, that's Jeff. That's
Yeah.
That's
Oh, right. Sorry. Sorry. I was thinking of Crunch, but you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Crunch has a saddle too.
You guys
Yeah,
need a
that's fine.
catapult before Crunch becomes a ship.
that could
We
be
can make
arranged.
it happen. We have an
Yeah,
artificer.
Can you do that for us?
I mean, I guess the Trent the Treant could throw him.
Mm,
That's close enough.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
forgot that we named him Trent.
little fastball.
I'm not gonna
special.
lie. I missed in the first episode where we called him Trent, and I thought everybody was just saying Trent, like weird,
Yeah.
like missing a
Trent.
letter, and I was like, am I the problem?
I can't
And then
remember.
I caught on.
But somebody did say like Treant, like Trent, and that's why I was just like, I'm just calling him Trent. That's his
Oh.
name now.
Is this another?
Maybe that's
Yeah,
what
I'm pretty
happened.
sure I was the first to mispronounce it.
That's okay. You named him then.
Yeah.
I just made it canon.
Good, we love it.
But yeah, we
Rick's
open up
more
on the
Rick's
party. I'm just the illusionary DM. It's all Rick behind the scenes.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, we open up on the party, all relaxing. Probably some of you doing your best to scrub off whatever smell you can on the curd. You know, taking your time to yourselves. Just probably need a little decompressing after, that whole event. And yeah, as you guys are all just going about doing your thing, chat is going to receive what is a fairly not common thing that happens to chat per se, but is not, is an experience that he has went through multiple times in his existence. He receives a telepathic communication from his hive.
Oh
And
shit, that's great. I read that message and I forgot to respond to you.
No worries. It probably won't come up too much in this session. It'll be for more later of the time where it needs to be fleshed out a little bit bigger. But you receive this missive, and this kind of communication at this distance, it's only able to send you a message. Your telepathy is not powerful enough to communicate back with it. You would know roughly the location of the hive in the Astral Sea. It is about 90 million miles away, so that's far outside of the 120 feet of chat's telepathy. But yeah, you hear the message. just a bit, just a tiny bit. You hear the message: all arms of the hive, those within proximity of the hive, return without delay. The hive requires your skills. And chat would know more specifically that these messages come from the core, that is the central hive mind of the hive. It acts as kind of like the intermediary for everything. It doesn't control everyone. Everyone has their own individuality within this hive, but it communicates and coordinates, the overall function of the hive, and does have more control over the less sentient insects that make up portions of the hive. Chat would know that, it's a very diverse hive of creatures. There's various different species, all usually insectoid, although certain other species have found their way into their space within the hive. As long as you fit in, the hive is fine having you around. But yeah, it's, a simple call out for assistance.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go straight to the captain and just be like, I have to go.
The captain is, just sitting at his chair and is just wondering. He's like, where do you have to go?
And I'll as best I can, explain to him like where it is that I need to go. And I think I would assume that because Chat's kind of not great with people, except now apparently he is, that they probably aren't going to go with me. So like in his mind, he's just like explaining to the captain like, hey, I have to leave, so like drop me off somewhere. But I'm assuming that the captain is like, well, let's go. So
yeah, the captain, if you like, you've given him details that you've been called in. Obviously, the captain's most important thing in his life almost is income. And so he instantly would ask Chat, like, is this a lucrative opportunity? Like, can we gain something from this?
I can gain my hive not dying. That's pretty lucrative to me.
Yeah, and I would say that Chat would know, like, the hive is they're like a fairly open. They're not really, like xenophobic or like
Right.
closed in. They do a lot of trade with various species. They're a fairly open and functional society with everyone else. And they have been known to employ freelancers when there's need for them and stuff like that. And you're not sure what the specifics of this job is or what they're expecting of you. But you know that if they're calling, like people of your skill set, and the term arms of the hive would be a big leader of that to you, that you guys usually interact with, like either doing kind of like emissary work or, because mostly Thri-Kreen fill this role as they're able to communicate with most people, or, often some combat, as the Thri-Kreen are a fairly combat skilled race and stuff like that. So you would assume that there is something lucrative to be done with this. Like there is room for money to be made. So the captain is more than happy to bring along, but he, as per your guys' contract, he does have to call a meeting with everyone and see what their opinions are on going out and doing these things.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna telepathically like talk to Trent and be like, please vote for me. Vote for my thing.
Trent sends you an emoji thumbs up image.
Perfect. He's learning.
Mm-hmm. He's on board. He's happy. I mean, he's doing well at this point. There's probably a couple of fruit now, like more than edible. He's as lush as he's ever been, and is more than happy to support the people that have been on board with him. Yeah. Do you send out a message to everyone else to either get their votes or to get them into the hall, wherever? I mean, the captain's quarters or wherever he's in at the moment.
I mean, I'm gonna obviously go get Crunch, and she knows that she doesn't have to vote for me, but she's going to. Like, I'm not gonna make her.
I don't remember when Crunch got a vote.
I know. Does Crunch get a vote?
I'm pretty sure she got like half a vote at some point.
I feel like it was
I feel
Trent
like
that had
Rick is
half a
working
vote.
it in so that they get like 2.5 votes on everything. This really is just Rick's world, and we're living in it.
I guess so.
No, I
feel the
like...
lack of Crunch having a contract would imply Crunch does not have a vote.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was one of the earlier ones where like Chat was trying to like obviously sway, where it was, I think, tied between everybody, and so he was like Trent and Crunch and and that wolf that I don't even remember the name now that we adopted.
Oh, boy.
I don't think the wolf was given a name. I could be wrong, but
I'm really certain that Rick is gaslighting us right now. And the fact that he could do it on 4 people is very impressive.
It's because I now have a +4 in persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
My
That's
rogue
it.
ability.
That's it.
but yeah, the captain quickly goes about and gets everyone together for a quick meeting. Gives you guys the overall information that they're not sure what the prospects look like, but there is a possibility of income. You guys know you're killing a week at the moment. This is just like the first evening, first day after you guys had met with Crumb, and you didn't really have anything else to do unless you guys had big plans on the Rock of Brawl. There's really nothing else to do but kill time at this point. And so he goes for, the usual quick vote.
I think the Chat would probably want to try and get something for Trent, like some, I don't know, fertilizer maybe, something to just like
Bribe him.
I guess, yeah. Not bribe him, just to like, because he's doing better, like a little treat. for Trent.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you would fertilize a thing that isn't in soil as it's composed of that, but I feel like you could probably find, there's many different sellers on the Rock of Brawl. I'm sure it would not take you too much of a struggle to find some, elixirs or ichors or something like
Right.
that would be beneficial nutrients to Trent, of which he would obviously appreciate and would very likely increase the growth of his fruit. I would say at this point, with that stuff that you're supplying him, Trent now is more than able to supply your crew with enough food. Like you might get a little sick of the various stone fruits that he produces, but you will never starve while you are near your ship. That's for sure.
I mean, no one ever said that Thrycreen have taste buds, so. Cool. Yeah, that's the only thing that I had.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything major. I do not have any plans for a fertilizer NPC salesman at this point.
Damn.
Dirty Dan. There you go. You're halfway there.
Yeah.
There we go. It's canon now.
Prayer.
Crazy old dude that just sits at where all the refuse dumps out where you guys were. He collects it and then just like mixes it in with soil and
Yeah.
sells this, various goos.
Delightful.
So, chat,
Um,
you received communications that you must obey. Is that correct?
This is a strong word, but sort of.
They are in distress.
It was also a little bit vague, but
Mm.
I can assume that something is happening, something important that I need to return.
Yeah, the
Is this
core is
like-
not, the most emotional entity, so it's hard to
Yeah.
really tell what would be going on from its, communications.
But I
Is
feel
this
like
like-
even go ahead.
Is this like a legitimate like hive mind sort of thing, like where you're sharing like the urgency that they would have?
That's a good question.
No, I feel like the way that this hive mind operates, like I said, like it's almost, I guess, like the internet. So it acts
Okay.
as like the core internet of this whole hive, and so it sends communication. It dictates certain needs and allows people to go out. But yeah, it's not really like a emotional being per se. Like it is almost like an AI in a sense that facilitates the running of the hive as it stands, which allows the hive to run at a much more efficient capacity than it would without it. So like it can send things to chat, and like chat could upload information into it if he chooses. It's not like it looks into chat's brain and just like takes whatever it wants. Like it allows every one of its beings to have its own sentience and its own personality and all of that stuff, but acts as an intermediary between them.
But I think even with that, intermediary status of it, like, I think Rune makes a good point that I might be able to pick up a little bit. At least, if you would like want me to roll an insight check, maybe to have a better idea.
Yeah, well, you would know that it's sending out that call would mean that there's something important, right? Like I said, like it's not an
Right.
emotional being, so it's not like you could tell like it's panicked or it's scared or anything like that. It doesn't really feel those base level emotions or something like that, but like most of the time you don't hear anything from it. It only calls when there is a need for the hive itself for something. So like you would know that this is important. It wouldn't call you in to bag some groceries or something like that. But you can't tell whether it's like, oh my god, the hive is about to explode, or if the hive is just facing like a minor nuisance. Although you'd assume that if it was like a really aggressive emergency, like again, like the end of the hive, it probably would have let you know more of that. This seems like it was not like it was like, hey, those who can come and help, we have some work for you, more than anything.
Yeah, I think that I'll just kind of explain. It could be some sort of threat, but really, it's just I don't have to, but I am obligated to go and do this job. And so, like, chat, as he's saying this, is just like packing his bags, like still thinking that he's just gonna get dropped off somewhere. And
So
Yeah.
I guess seeing this happen, and like especially seeing chat actively packing his bags, Nadir would kind of look to everybody else and be like, I go where chat goes. If he says he needs to leave, I go with him.
And the captain like nods along with that and says, I mean, if there's money to be made, you guys are more than welcome. You know, like I'm always on board kind of thing, and just gives you like the he's willing to at least see where this will go. At the very least, he'll take you to the hive kind of thing.
I'm just picturing Mr. Krabs right now.
Yeah, I don't think Valerius would have any issue with going. I think that, you know, everything is a chance for more glory, and the Thrycreen haven't heard of the wondrous nature that is Valerius, so now it's just a chance for more people to see how amazing he is.
I would relish the chance to get to meet some new brains to pick through. Not
Yes,
literally.
my,
Ruin's making a face.
I was like, obviously Jaden's
Yeah,
little
rubbing
fetish
off
about
of you a little
brains
bit.
there is rubbing off.
Yeah, a little bit. Who knew I
Yeah,
like
sorry
brains?
guys that I'm a
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
I'm
that
an
frontal lobe.
intellectual aphiliac or something like that. I can't think of a good term for it. But yeah, it seems that you all are on board with, you know, a fairly, at least, you know, seeing where this will lead by all means. And so the captain, you know, you guys get any of the basics that you would need for supplies and all that stuff, and you guys head off. Chat would have to man the helm. I believe you can,
Right.
'cause you do have a couple of spell slots, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because you would be the only one that knows the specific location of the hive. But when you're in the astral plane, that's all you need to get to a location. If you know where something is, you automatically know the most efficient route to get there. And you know that, like I said, it's approximately, you know, about 90 million miles away, which seems like a long distance, but at full speed, as long as you avoid any things that would cause your ship to slow down, that's only a day's travel, because a Spelljammer, according to the rules, can go 100 million miles per 24 hours as long as it stays a mile away from any large physical entities.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, not
The
bad.
math is right.
Inertia's
It-
not a thing.
It hits that light speed. What can we say?
Yeah.
Hyperdrive.
So yeah,
But,
the
you know,
Kurd.
we don't get any of the like wonky time travel stuff because, you know,
Yeah. No time dilation here.
secretly this is the Planet of the Apes episode right now.
Yeah, you guys pop back up 10,000 years later. Yeah, but the Kurd pulls out of dock, and you guys head towards the hive, and you know, luckily there is no impeding factors on the way, and you guys make your way there in approximately, you know, about a day. You guys, if anyone hadn't had a chance for the last stuff, you would obviously have more than enough time for a long rest in that travel. Top yourselves up in that sense. Yeah, so as you guys start getting close to the proximity of the... Ooh, what was that?
No, good.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going somewhere. Yeah, as you guys start to get close to the proximity of the hive, you guys feel the ship naturally slow down into its more normal speed, where it's not at its super speed. And you guys are all see like a fairly... I mean, it's not the newest site, as you've already been through the Astral Sea and have seen some dead gods and stuff like that, but you see a much different site than you've seen with other ones. You see the remnants of what is mostly, you know, the chest and torso of what you would assume is a dead god, because what else would be this massive size? But it is like Swiss cheese, and there are swarms and just innumerable amounts of insects moving around, in, out, and just this like very structured and almost machine-like patterns to them. It is, you know, like almost a wonder. Like looks more like structured than even like a clock ticking. Everything gets like into the flow. Nobody's bumping into each other. All of the insects that are moving around it seem to be working in a fairly impressive amount of harmony. And as you guys are, you know, get a little bit closer, you do see a small swarm of giant moths break off from, you know, all of the other insects doing their thing, and they begin to, you know, float towards the ship, and don't seem to be meaning any harm by any means. Not that they probably could cause much harm anyways. They seem like they're fairly peaceful creatures. And they kind of just guide you guys into where you need to go. They give you a very easy path, and they lead you to a site that it's a little hard to determine exactly what it is as you're climbing forward, but it is a large purple spiral with some very strange markings on it. And as you get really close to it, you see it begin to unfurl. And I think all of you would have at least an idea of what this is. Maybe you haven't seen one, this might be your first time, but you've heard of them. It is very evidently a gigantic centipede on a scale of which you have never seen. They are called megapedes. This one seems to be larger than most. You know, they are on average are about 100 to 150 feet long. This one, fully rounded out, seems to be like 200, 250 feet long. And it kind of scuttles off out of the way as a large hole opens up, and you can see inside of it a large, I guess, almost lake, perfect for your ship to land into, of this strange yellowish liquid. You who knows what it could be. It could be, you know, something that the bugs created. It could be some leftover fluid from this dead god or something like that. And on the other side of this lake, you see I'm trying to think of what the actual buildings were called. I can't remember now. You know, they're like all carved into the sides of stone and like inside of mountains and stuff like that. There's a couple of key areas throughout.
Is it the Pueblo?
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe.
I think that's the people who built. I don't know. I know
Yeah, yeah. So like carved into the walls of this dead god of like the cavern that has been cleared out is all sorts of buildings. You see all sorts of insects and other various species moving around, and this looks like a fairly active port town. You see various other spelljammers have been, you know, stopped in. You see some loading up with cargo, some unloading cargo. Chat would know the true name of this location, but it is far too complicated to communicate to most humanoids. It is, you know, a number of noises and sounds that most probably couldn't even hear or, you know, get anything from. So most people just call it Chit Chit.
But I definitely say the whole thing, and Nadir's the only one who understands any of it.
But yeah, it's known as like one of like really the only main town that people interact with the hive. It's mostly filled with the sentient insect species and, you know, some of the other less sentient species as well. And outside of that, like more internal into the hive is places that anyone could go if they wanted to, though there isn't maybe as much value for like any just, you know, foreigner to be roaming around in those areas. But yeah, it's a fairly bustling port town. And as you guys are pulling up to the docks, yep. Chat would again hear the core, and it says, "Your arrival has been noted. Please come to the nearest auxiliary core for debriefing." And as soon as that message kind of slows off, I don't know how well chat knows the area of this town, but he is instantly given directions by the core to the fastest route to reach the auxiliary core, which he knows that all major areas within the hive have just, you know, I guess you'd call them terminals for the core in a sense. Like the core is the server, and these are like the access points that most people can go to interact with the core as needed. And so he very quickly knows the fastest route to get to where he needs to be going.
Yes, we call this the web.
It goes so wide. Across the
worldwide,
world.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll lead the way.
Yeah, and it's, you know, a fairly intricate route. Everything is like very logically laid out, like very much, you know, like almost like algorithms and, you know, like stuff like that were used to determine everything. So it's not like it seems like a complicated route to anyone else that might be walking through it. A lot of zags and turns and twists, but it actually is like a very efficient route to get to where you're going. And yeah, you don't struggle too much. You guys pass, you know, like I said, many different insects and insectoid species, some that you know, some that seem very foreign and strange, I would imagine. And as I've also said, this, it's not uncommon for certain other people to have made lives in there. So you might pass the odd halfling or dwarf or whatever other species. It seems to have integrated well with the hive and found their position within its overall hierarchy. Because this is in the Astral Sea, you guys don't technically have to walk. You can float through this space. So you do see lots of people floating and using all different, means of moving through this space.
Oh, that's efficient.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only issue with that is that your intellect is directly tied to your speed. So some people might be a little bit slower.
Ooh, I'm really fast then.
I
If
believe
more
in the
way than
Astral
one.
Sea, it is
I'm
5
definitely doing
feet.
that. I'm definitely doing that.
I believe it's
What
5
did you do?
per intellect score. Maybe it's for moving through the Astral Sea.
Wait, per intellect score, like the main score or the modifier? Because
I believe it's the main
score.
score.
I'm gonna be zooming. Probably not as fast as Kiyaki, but like
Yeah,
That'd
5
be
feet
fast.
per your score, not the multiplier.
I'm down for 60 feet per round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost certain it's 5 feet. 5 feet per your each score or whatever. Or yeah, per point, not like your modifier. And
interesting.
of course, now I cannot find where that is to actually back that up.
That's how it goes.
And I feel like I know exactly where it is. I just for some reason thought I
Yeah,
would have
it's fine.
pulled up.
I'm just flying at my 65 feet,
had.
6 seconds.
And if you pick the wild spacer background, you don't have any disadvantage on melee attack because you're so good at
Ooh.
being weightless.
I do believe I have that background.
Yeah.
Well, I'm moving 100 feet, so see you guys later, I guess.
Jesus.
Yeah,
but you don't know
it
where you're
is.
going, so.
Well, that's fine. Doesn't matter.
It is 5 times your intelligence score, so hope you
Amazing.
really brainy people enjoy flying around at Mach 10.
Whee!
But yeah, you
Just breaks the sound barrier immediately.
yeah, you guys make very quick time, obviously, through the various areas that you were traveling, and you reach the auxiliary core with no major issue. It's fairly central in the overall town of Chit Chit. And yeah, as you guys walk into the core, like hollowed out part of the wall that it is located within, you see a fairly small Hercules beetle looking like creature sitting on a pedestal, and then out from its back is like an untold number of, like, they look, I guess, like organic cables in a sense, like almost tentacles, but they aren't, as mobile or functional as that. And they just, like, it's amazing how many cables can be plugged into this small, like almost nadir sized creature. And they just, all of those float into all these various little holes in the back of the wall, like just thousands that work their way into hundreds that then work their way into the back of this creature. It's clearly connected to many parts of the hive, and probably all of the other auxiliary cores and the main core itself. And as soon as you walk in, you guys, it does choose to make it a little more communicative to everyone that's in the space. Like I said, the core is not rude by any means. And you see the small mouth on the creature begin to move, and it produces a lot more sound than you were expecting. Like, it's a fairly loud voice. It fills out the whole space, and it seems to be mostly guiding towards chat, but kind of giving everyone a little bit of information as well. Thank you for responding to our summons. Tikatcha, I believe is your proper name. It has been noted the hive has been infected by a parasite that seeks to enslave the hive. It must be excised by any means necessary. A coalition of humans are using strange implements to command the non-sentient castes of the hive. They currently seem to be only experimenting, but it is clear their intents are... And it kind of tries to think of a proper word and gets kind of like, really thinking about it. It's unseemly is what it kind of comes up with. They're not really certain of their exact intent by the the kind of confusion it has there, but it knows that no good can be coming from something coming in and trying to take over swaths of its workers and stuff like that. Some parties have been dispatched to handle many of the camps that these humans have established, but there is still some that have yet to be assigned. Then it takes another moment, does a little calculating. You will use your discretion to eliminate the problem. assistance can be assigned, and you see the little beetle use some of its arms to kind of like gesture at the rest of your party that seems to have come with you. Your compatriots seem capable of much more than what we could currently provide. What else we got here? That's not important.
When
And yeah, it
Nadir,
seems to kind of just sit there, and chat would know that the. Nope. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say when Nadir heard them use his real name, he would look over at Kayaki and Valerius and be like, "That's Chat's real name," just to like reassure them of something that he thinks they might not know.
And chat, like, as soon as his real name is like his full name, he just kind of like turns camouflaged slightly to the background for a second, which is just like his way of being embarrassed.
Embarrassed, yeah.
Yeah.
Nadir will be like, "He doesn't like it."
I'm just like, that's not true. It's just embarrassing. But like as soon as like we're about to walk into this room, the first thing that chat does is he just like turns to everyone and telepathically is like, "Do not embarrass me or I will kill you." He's just very serious.
But yeah, the small beetle again looks over at you all and says, "Are you capable of providing assistance in this situation?"
Yeah, and as it says that, like chat is loading his musket and he says, "Assignment understood. Kill the mammals. Meat bags must die."
So to reiterate, Jaden, there's what he calls a parasite, an infestation of humans living on this planet that are disrupting the order of things.
Yeah, there's in some various reasons in some various locations there is some humans that have set up camp and seemingly have some implements that are allowing them to take control over small sections of the working insects in their regions that they're in.
Where did they come from?
It takes a second, and it kind of shows like because things like, I mean, where all humans come from, various planets, where we're not entirely sure. They seem mostly focused on the fact that they are in here and doing, they're not, messing with the hive's overall function. They're less worried about where they came from and more worried that they will be gone.
Yeah,
Or
so they're
need
more
to be
worried
gone.
about where they go. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not where they came
Yeah.
from.
Well, sir, we are professionals, so we like to collect as much information as we can. Is there anything else you can tell us about these humans?
It kind of, takes some time to process your communication there. Because they don't have much insight on the camps themselves, since all of the insects in the area have their connection with the hive severed to be able to be controlled. So like they can't give a lot of specifics. From what they've gained from some of the other camps that have, none of the other camps have been currently, like fully raided at this point, but they seem to be running some fairly strange experiments, and various locations are doing different things, but they just seem to be currently taking over the insects in an area and getting them to do the function that they would normally do in that area. The camp that you guys are being sent to is what was a defunct dew farm. Chat would know that is a highly nutritious but off-putting food source. That is made by feeding scraps, so whatever things that people wouldn't normally, or any creatures wouldn't normally eat, to Citiboyan larvae, and those larvae eat it, regurgitate out dew, which is then, like I said, maybe not the tastiest food, but is definitely something someone could easily live off of long term. So they seem to have restarted up the dew farm at the camp that you guys are assigned to, from various scouts that have been able to get some amount of information. Like I said, anything that gets too close instantly gets its communication severed from the hive, so it isn't capable of giving lots of specific details beyond that.
So he needs people, specifically people who are blind to the hive, so that way our communications cannot be shut off.
Yeah, anybody that either is, has no connection to the hive or more sentient creatures like the Thri-kreen, it wouldn't be very likely that, that someone would just be able to, mind control chat per se. But again, like the lesser insects most of them are, more like animalistic intelligence and stuff like that. So they mostly fill very specific roles for the hive, like there's various flying things collect and haul materials. Certain, more stronger things might do tunneling and, other like manual labor, things like that. And those are the insects that have been taken over by the various interloping humans. So, yeah, anything that is a little bit above, your standard animal intelligence is about the only tools that the hive has at its disposal to handle this situation.
Yeah, and I feel like Chad is describing the dew farm, but like he's using, for one, very technical terms, but also he's like talking very highly of it because to him it's delicious. To the mammals, it's probably really gross, but he doesn't know or care about that. He's just like, it's delicious, it's the best thing ever. You can't have it, but it's great.
You'll never know.
Yeah,
If
dew
only-
definitely makes up a staple food source for the hive for sure.
Well, chat, perhaps you should take point on this mission, since you know your way around more than any of us.
And I feel like Chat probably didn't spend a whole lot of time at the hive, but he's just like, yes, I know exactly. Because, I mean, with the hive mind and everything, I'm sure he has a pretty good idea of where to go.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
You're not from here, chat?
I mean, I hadn't really fleshed it out, but I've decided sort of, but no.
But are like all Thri-kreen connected to the same hive? Like, how does that work?
I mean, I would say probably not.
Okay.
Like, there's
Yeah.
colonies of ants where there's, but this is like not just ants. It's if like ants and grasshoppers and beetles and everybody else all could like hang out.
It's a bug's life.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's kind of like there's a hive mind is like the queen ant almost. So there's a bunch of different hives.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, this hive acts as like a very, just like a ton of symbiotic relationships layered on symbiotic relationships layered on symbiotic relationships. It's all within all of the people or all of the insects that are a part of its best interest to use this as their best capability. But yeah, no one's, like I said, like no one's obligated to anything aggressive. I would assume that Chat would have been born in this hive, but many Thri-kreen, especially in some of the more sentient species, are known for going out and being, at the very least, like I said, emissaries or various liaisons and stuff for the hive. To the point of which some go off and just totally do their own thing. They might feel like some familial or kind of adjacent connection to the hive, but maybe not like the most obligation. It's kind of for each person to kind of interact with on their own.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but on your understanding of the area, yeah, like with the hive mind, it's very quickly they communicate the location of where you're going. You probably haven't been to this specific location of the hive. It's a very old part of the hive that is rarely ever used anymore at this point. Like I said, it's an old dew farm that had been decommissioned a long time ago. But yeah, you know very quickly the easiest path to get there. One of the easiest, the route that the fastest route will be using the circulatory speedway. And then it's a fairly short trip from that point.
Okay. Yeah. So I will
Sounds
probably
exciting.
not say a whole lot. I feel like Chat's just more focused on like let's get there and let's get this resolved.
Yeah, I think Hyake is very much just
Yeah.
like.
It's just before you guys are about to
follow
like
him.
really.
Is there a delay?
I think there's a bit of a delay.
So just as you guys are about to leave this. Oh.
Shit.
I noticed it earlier.
Yeah, I think Jaden has a little bit of a delay.
Dang it, guys! What am I even
it's-
doing here? Just ruining everything.
It's Jaden that
My
has a
job.
delay?
I think we're all
I think
delayed
so.
for Jaden.
Oh.
Sometimes I get a little bit of a lag spike. I think I've got some options going on here that'll make it a little less problematic. I think watching all of your guys' videos at once is where my big issue comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already running a lot smoother. But yeah, as you guys are about to head out, the little insect again, when it's fairly large, unsurprisingly booming voice, does stop you and says, "As the level of threat is still unknown, we have prepared some precautionary supplies for all units that are interacting with this parasitic intrusion." And as it says that, a small ant-like creature comes out of one of the tubes or one of the holes in the behind it, and you see strapped to its back is a little serving tray, and on that tray is 4 potions of greater healing, 1 potion of invisibility, and 1 scroll of hypnotic pattern.
We just
Okay.
get those for free.
Yeah, it seems to be providing you these supplies for your assistance.
Wow.
Nice.
We get a greater healing.
I love it here.
This is not a bad home there, chat.
Thank you. I'm aware.
I wish we were treated so well everywhere we visited.
Oh, just
Well.
wait till you meet the GIF. Oh,
I look
He's
forward
like,
to
"That's-"
that day, Valerius. I do.
He's like, that's what happens when you deal with meat bags.
What, you don't get gifts?
Yeah.
Oh,
gifts are not just a bug thing.
Whoa, hey,
Oh, no.
Chad, like,
Whoa,
Oh.
whoa.
I'm sorry, I was raised with prejudices, and I am taking my time to try to learn and relearn things. I apologize.
you're forgiven this time.
What were the other potions?
It was a potion of invisibility and a scroll of hypnotic pattern.
Is it greater health potion?
Yeah, there's a greater health potion for each of you. They're called potions of greater healing on D&D Beyond.
For the hypnotic pattern, do you happen to have that spell pulled up and handy?
Yeah, I mean, I can pull it up real lickety-splitty.
Because I don't remember the exact wording, but I think depending on who it would be most effective casting it would depend on who should take it.
Yeah, well, the most effective person would likely be whoever, like, there's no, like, major requirements to casting it by any means. So the way that hypnotic pattern works is you create a twisting pattern of colors that weaves through the air inside a 30-foot cube within range. It has a 120-foot range. The pattern appears for a moment and vanishes. Each creature in the area who sees the pattern must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature becomes charmed or the duration for the duration, and that's 1 minute. While charmed by the spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. So more or less, it just causes everyone to kind of go catatonic for a minute that sees it and fails their wisdom saving throw.
So my save is only 13, so I feel like Chad is probably not the best person to.
Mine's 15.
Wisdom save?
No, it would just be your normal spell save.
Oh, yes, mine is.
But no, it is a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Right, but like your
It
wisdom
could be
wouldn't
your
affect.
spell save, right?
Yeah, it would just be.
And mine's
Whichever.
15.
Well, mine's 18.
So you're getting it.
Yeah.
It's an insane spell save.
Yeah, but it's not wisdom. That's why I'm confused.
It's just like if you were.
The enemy has to.
Oh no, yeah, I get what you mean. Sorry, I was confused on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to save against your 18.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was someone else, it would be a lower saving DC.
Hypnotics. What a potion of.
It's a
hypnosis?
scroll.
Hypnotic
Scroll.
pattern?
Scroll of hypnotic pattern. I don't know if there's sometimes D&D Beyond has like most spells as scrolls, but it doesn't give you every single spell. So more or less, just you can give yourself, a one use of that, or even just pull up on a second D&D Beyond page and just search the hypnotic pattern spell.
Yeah, because whenever you gave a couple of us had spell scrolls in the very beginning, and mine was just said spell scroll of a certain level, and then I had to remember what it was because it didn't have that option. So
Yeah, mine was the same.
I believe when you do get those just general ones, you can edit it and change the name. If that
Yeah,
helps.
you can.
Oh, okay.
good to know.
So Scroll of Tarask summoning? Got it.
Absolutely.
Sick.
That's how I know I have a spell scroll of Crown of Madness.
Nice.
So what'd you say? You can just get a blank spell scroll? Basically.
Yeah,
every
if you
hand?
just type in spell scroll into the items, it will
What
just
level?
give you
is-
pick like a level. It's 3rd level hypnotic pattern.
Nice.
Okay. Cool, that's easier then. Cool. Okay.
And
Yeah.
chat probably just like hand the invisibility potion to one of the other two. I don't know who it would.
Valerius can have it.
I'm not
Yeah, I
very
was gonna say, I don't know.
sneaky, so I don't do sneak. I rage now. I run
Yeah,
and punch shit.
invisibility doesn't stop.
Yeah. So maybe Napier should take it.
Yeah, I can take it. I won't say no to a potion. Potion of invisibility.
Yeah, because invisibility doesn't like stop you from making noise or anything like that, so you still need to be fairly proficient at stealth. It just means that no one will like see you walking up on them.
I'll do it. And the whole time I do it, I'll go, yeah, 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 yeah.
Like Kronk sneaking through. and-
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay,
Definitely
yeah.
one of my favorite scenes from like any animated movie
So
ever is
good.
that scene.
Or him talking to the chipmunk, the squirrel.
I was gonna say just the whole movie.
So
is-
Mhm.
is-
I know,
Squeak,
I haven't seen that in
squeaking.
a while.
Squeak squeaking.
I think Kate and I used to teach a grammar unit where we had a scene from Emperor's New Groove in it, where he's talking to the angel and devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think after everything's like been distributed, chat's just gonna start leading the way.
Great. Follow you, chat. You seem to know exactly where we need to go.
Yes, I do.
Yes, very conveniently, chat knows the path of exactly where he needs to roll.
Oh God, what if he's already being turned against us?
We'll never know. Chat, we need it. We need a safe word or something.
Banana.
Pineapple. Pineapple.
No, we
The-
can't
the
use
safe word is meat.
pineapples.
Safe word
Can't
is
use-
meatbag.
Meatbag.
But you use that all the time.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So if he doesn't use it, then we know that he's
oh, okay. I was. Gotcha.
corrupted. I'm with you, chat.
Perfect.
Perfect plan.
Foolproof.
Yeah, let's
even.
take that cool sounding circular speedway. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, the circulatory speedway. Chat would know fairly well of that. It is, capitalizing on the, veins and arteries of the dead god. They have long been emptied and hollowed out, and so now pill bug-like creatures use it as a way to move either material or other insects and stuff in very swift means throughout the hive. Yeah, I'll give a better explanation when you guys actually reach there. So yes, chat easily guides you guys through throughout the city of Chit Chit, and just as you were about to reach the edge of the city, which the circulatory speedway is just outside of, you will all hear here in the Lustrum. You guys all know this as having a Thrycreen on your crew, is that this is another Thrycreen telepathically communicating with pretty much everything in the space. And you guys hear, all who dare test their strength against the mighty Gauge, step up to our challenge. 10 to 1 odds, only 10 gold pieces to have your hopes dashed.
10 to
Would I
1
recognize
odds.
this name?
You guys would all recognize the term of a Gauge. You fought one in the very first session in your guys' meeting episode when you were in the post office. That was what attacked the post office.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Mhm. They
With-
are a very powerful Ornerous insectoid monster.
Nadir, hearing about the gambling, all of a sudden lights up. His visualizer is glowing.
We need to wean him off of the gambling, I think, you guys.
I really
People-
think I found the pattern.
He's
I'm
got
pretty
a
sure we
taste.
could win.
Just one more gold. That's all I need.
Said only 10 gold. I have at least 40 times that.
I'll bet if you guys.
Odds are not very good, little Nadir.
We'll never know if we don't try.
I say we let
mean,
him
it's a good
spend his
payout
money
if you
how he
win.
pleases.
Valerius just wants more money for his ship.
You're not wrong.
Thank you so much, Valerius. And he's gonna like run off towards the gambling.
So yeah, as you guys round the corner, you see sitting at a very, very, very sturdily built table. It is, just made with all of the thickest wood. It almost might as well be just a solid slab of wood set on the floor with how sturdily it's built. And sitting behind it is a blue and yellow mottled thrycreen, and sitting beside it is a, obviously a much, it looks in a much better condition than the gauge you guys had originally interacted with, but it also seems fairly docile. It seems to be calm. It's not, rampaging like the one you previously had interacted with. It is just sitting behind the table beside the thrycreen, and you guys see a small crowd of people sitting around it, and it's very evident that this is an armless wrestling match with the gauge. And you guys see there's one.
Nadir walks up and he's like, "What have I done?"
You guys see a fairly sturdy dwarf trying his might against the gauge, and they go, and there's a little bit of back and forth, but very quickly the gauge overpowers the dwarf and slams his arm on the table, and you guys hear again the same telepathic communication cry out, "Who would like to challenge us next?" And you don't see anyone like inherently stepping forward at the moment.
Nadir is going to look over at Valerius and be like, "You know what, Valerius? I just realized that the glory of the strong arm household, you need to step right up."
Ah, but Nadir, the only thing more glorious than someone who wins is someone who can coach someone else in winning, and kind of pushes Nadir up a little closer.
All right, well, Nadir's gonna go for it. I suppose he had a big game. Kayaki tried to tell him no.
I tried.
The thrycreen looks you up and down and says, "I mean, we'll happily take your money." And he holds out his hand, waiting for the 10 gold pieces.
Yeah, he'll hand it to him.
Okay.
Oh my
You
god.
got this.
Just
He
let him
takes it.
fight by himself, you guys.
He's got this. I'm gonna give
Yeah.
him the help action by cheering him on.
Yeah, I don't think
the-
I don't think you can have a wrestling match with multiple people. It's not that kind of
Yeah,
wrestling.
that's cheating.
Yeah.
Did I secretly cast Bless on myself?
I mean, you can attempt to. I don't know what is the or like this casting components of bless. Let me see.
Question. Oh, it is verbal.
It's verbal, semantic, and material. It is all of them.
Can you
It's
do
all
it-
three.
can you
Oh,
do
but
it
I
in
can
a
use my belt for
language-
success.
Yeah, or can you do it in a language that you don't think they understand?
Well, I speak Common, Gith, Gnomish, and Thrycreen, so
Yeah, if you
at
say
least
it-
2 of those are off the table.
Yeah, I think you say it in a language that he doesn't understand, that you think
Yeah,
he
so
doesn't
you guess it
understand. And then
It's a
just like,
thrycreen. He understands all languages in a sense, I believe.
I mean, if you say it out loud, not necessarily. It's the telepathy that
That's
lets you
a good point.
yeah, say it, but don't think about what you're saying.
turn your brain off. Turn off your CPU.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, like I don't think that their telepathy allows them to have like they can just like pick people's minds. So I think
Yeah,
if you're
I feel
choosing
like-
not to communicate with it, that shouldn't be an issue. The question is does he understand the other parts of the spell or not to see whether you are going for it? But
Can you pass
I'm
it off
not.
like
I'm
you're
not
like
gonna
praying
cast
for
bless.
help or
Fine.
So
It's
if you're-
fine. I have built for success. That'll help me out
mean-
enough.
you're welcome to run the bless. All I would want, I guess, would be a spell check or a stealth check. I guess would probably be the best option in this point to see how well you are at masking the fact that you're casting a spell.
These are the things that give me anxiety. Nadir is neutral good. He's not going to.
That's fair. It's not the goodest thing to do. Is
No
cheating, right?
Running the math is one thing, but actively using a spell to change the outcomes, I feel like it's a different.
But isn't
That's
neutral
fair.
good like you have your own like code? Maybe your code is just I want to win.
I used it to justify his like logic of mercy, right? Like mercy can be the death or the save. So he's gonna go with it. He'll use built for success if he needs to.
And I'll cheer him on, give him the help action, telling him like make sure you like really put your shoulder into it. It's not just all from here, otherwise you'll lose. You try to bend the wrist.
Nadir, are you any good with a dagger?
Just stab him.
I feel like this is an honest enough game where if you pull out a knife in the middle of your arm wrestling, people are not gonna be happy.
Just a suggestion. That's all.
Chad just comes over and is like, I like where your head's at, but no, and just like puts a hand out.
Even Nadine's eyes or Nadir's eyes are big at hearing the knife from Kiaki. It's like, oh. Now
But
he's
then,
like really afraid as he's stepping up and his robotic hand shaking.
But
Yeah,
then
as
Chad
you-
also like flashes 2 daggers at you, just like in case, in support.
I'm just picturing that scene in The Waterboy when he's writing the test and his girlfriend jumps up like, "You want me to kill him?"
But yeah, as Nadir, gets to position himself at the table, it's a little tall for Nadir, so the Thrycreen grabs a crate and sets it in front of it, getting you perfectly in position, right at the right height, and he kind of steps off to the side, and the gauge just puts out its, it's just one arm, I guess you'd call it. I guess it's more of a limb, because they're a bit more of like they walk on all of their limbs, so it's more of a foot than it is an arm, I guess, but it's more than capable enough for you to get a good grip on as you go, and the Thrycreen puts his hands over your guys' grip that you have there, and he gives you a quick countdown of 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to need a strength saving throw, or not, just a strength roll from you, please.
Now, Valerius was giving me the help action. What does that do?
I don't imagine that there's a lot of ways to help
Damn
you
it.
be stronger in this situation.
But technique though, of like you turn the
Inspiration.
wrist and like.
That is a good point. That is fair. You gave good advice on it. So the help action gives you advantage, doesn't it?
I think
Yes.
so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I will give you advantage on this first roll.
I love Jaden's
Um,
face where he was like thinking about that for a second. He was like, okay, all right, I'll go with it.
15.
So yeah, as you guys start, it doesn't seem that Valerius's insight has given you as much of an advantage as you were hoping. As you feel the gauge's muscle, I guess it's not really muscles, but whatever. As you feel the force from it, and it is much more than you were expecting, and your arm starts to very quickly move to the edge or to the your losing side of the table. And I'm going to need another strength roll from you, please.
Jaden, can I
Oh.
perhaps keep an eye out for anything suspicious, like maybe an insight to see if they are cheating somehow at this game?
I feel like that would be more of a perception if you're just trying to take in the whole situation and see if there's anything fishy going on.
Okay.
I got a 19.
And I got a not natural 20.
Yeah, from what you see, it seems to be, above board. It seems that it's just putting its strength behind it. There's not really any easy way to cheat in this situation, at least that you would be able to ascertain at this moment.
Yeah, it could be like the gouge could have like a fake arm, or it could be like injected with something. Like who
Yeah,
knows, right?
no. From what you see, everything seems to be normal. There's nothing strange about the gauge. Everything looks, like its
Okay.
carapace matches up all across there. There's no, it's not like a weirdly extra strong limb
Yeah.
or something like that. That's like extra shredded.
It really is this strong, huh?
Yeah, they are a very
Okay.
strong creature. They're large. I believe they actually are like a large creature.
Cool.
Yeah, so like it like is towering over Nadir. It is like, a David and Goliath scene.
Oh.
But just
Right.
as Nadir's arm is about to touch the table, he gets this strange amount of strength and just throws his whole body into it and manages to fully fight back against the gauge and almost get its arm down to the tapping position at this point. And then we need one last strength check to see how this pans out.
That's really cute, Rick.
14.
Yeah, you guys, as you go, you seem to be at a stalemate. You guys are matching each other in strength, and no one's moving an inch at this moment. So I'm gonna need another strength check.
Wow.
Come on.
Oh,
Go, Nadir. You can do it.
17, and I'm out of built for success. So
Just don't know. Yeah, you think like you're like, I don't know if I have any more, and then just you're not sure what happens, but the gauge just seems to start losing it, and you slam that arm down with so much force that you actually leave a little dent in the table, and you see the Thrycreen looks a little bit surprised. The gauge doesn't seem to do much. It seems like its whole objective here is just to throw some strength and do nothing else. So it just kind of sits back in its normal position, fairly, calm and docile, and the Thrycreen begins counting out the coins to give to you, and you see a nice
Hell
stack
yeah.
of 100 gold pieces as he
Hell
slides it over to you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And everyone is cheering, and it is amazing. You assume that you're one of the only people that have won today from like the sheer, excitement of the crowd, and there are people slapping you on the back, and
I
it
feel
is,
like
it is quite the sight.
Nadir just embodied that TikTok sound that says, "Ha!"
Yeah, Chad is just talking so much shit out loud in Thrycreen. So Nadir's the only one in the party who could understand. He's just like,
Nadir-
yeah,
Chat.
We all get the sentiment that way.
absolutely.
Tone is universal.
Nadir will go to Valerius and hand him the whole stack of 100 and say, "Thank you for believing in me, Valerius."
Nadir, this is very kind. Thank
I know how much you want your ship.
Thank you. This means a great deal. Glory on you, Nadir.
Say, add your spirit? Like, is that the proper?
I don't know.
And then he
Wrong
goes,
guy.
Glory on you.
"To
Glory on your cow.
adventure!"
Yeah.
But yeah, as you guys are celebrating, you see the Thrycreen like in quite a huff begin to like start like tearing down all of his setup. He gets the gauge to kind of like tuck underneath the table and like just stand up, and it just easily hoists this super sturdy table that maybe even Valerius would struggle to move just right up on its back, proving that Nadir managed to overcome a very strong creature.
Wow.
If anyone wants to know, the gauge has a 16 strength, so it gets +3 to its rolls.
Wow, Nadir. What kind of
Yeah.
components did you install to become so strong?
As they're like walking away, Nadir's just gonna be like, "I locked my rotator cuffs."
That's very smart, Nadir. I will have to keep that in mind
If-
next time I need a little more strength.
If he would have lost, I was gonna say that his whole body rotated sideways.
But yeah, so, some people are still like fairly, amazed at what they saw, and you hear some kind of, various stories, and people are like, "That's amazing," and you have a feeling that this will be talked about at least by the people who witnessed it for quite the time, because yeah, a little 4-foot creature managed to beat like a 10 to 15 foot tall creature.
I feel like the hive mind is like a buzz now.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
It
was
is-
not. I realized that.
The scale of everything is getting a little bit confusing at this point. Apparently, this was like the largest gauge that had ever been, and this is the smallest autognome that anyone had ever seen. It was almost as if like an amoeba fought a Tarask. The story is just blowing out at this point. And you do hear every now and again one voice trying to like really undermine it, be like, "I must have cheated." And you do kind of remember the sound of that, and you're feeling that that is the Thri-Kreen who lost quite a bit of money at that moment.
Yeah, and I'm just narrating all of this, like, only to Nadir, telepathically.
But yeah, you guys, I'm assuming, keep heading on towards the circulatory highway, or speedway, sorry. Mixing up
What
words.
an exciting place.
So yeah, you guys, it's not very far. It's, you know, maybe like a 5-minute like walk out of town, through some various tunnels that have been, you know, you can easily tell that these were carved by, you know, a fairly large, likely insectoid creature. It would be strange for it to be anything else. You guys get up to what is a fairly large line in a fairly, you know, sizable, I guess you'd call it almost an atrium space in a sense. And on the far edge, you see numerous large, you know, about 20 feet, you know, by 20 feet circles all throughout the various areas. And you see them all, you know, they get fairly dark the moment they dive off to it. And you see every now and again a handful of people stepping up onto, well, for lack of a better term, the belly of these large round insects. The insects close up around the people, and they just, with a surprisingly blinding speed, begin rolling into, you know, various of the tunnels, right? It's clearly that this is like an intersection where most people use, and then it spirals off to various areas of the hive. And by the look of the speed, it wouldn't take you very long to travel even some fairly large distances within this creature, or yeah, the space of this god. Yeah, and as you guys get into line, chat would know that, you know, you just kind of wait your turn. This isn't like, you know, something you pay for or anything like that. It's part of the social service that the hive provides. This is a very socialist utopia in a certain sense, the hive. It is all about everyone's needs being met to the best of the capability of the hive, and everyone providing, you know, their skills and capabilities to help benefit the hive. And these large round bugs seem to be more than happy carrying everyone to their various locations. So yeah, you guys see the line. It's moving fairly quickly. It is not by any means, you know, like a slow going process. As soon as one bug is filled and gone, there's already another bug there waiting, ready to go. It's very efficient. But yeah, as you guys are waiting in line, you do see a handful of Thri-Kreen children walking up and down the line, and you see them peddling these orbs of a strange off-green translucent ichor. Like it manages to stay together fairly well, though, you know, it does seem to be kind of like a very solid slime that's able to be balled up, but, you know, it has a little give and, you know, go to it kind of in a sense. And one of them runs up to you. Chat would know, but the kid very quickly goes into his spiel of, get your due here, and chat would know that giving the bugs that are taking you to places a orb of dew is a good way for them to, it's a tip in a sense, or an incentive, right? They'll take you wherever you need to go regardless, but if you give them some, they'll probably give you a less bumpy of a ride, for lack of a better term, right? They'll take extra good care of you. You know, they know all the best routes. They'll get you to where you need to go the fastest and all of that kind of stuff. And the kid's peddling them for 5 silver pieces per orb.
Okay.
And an orb handles you 1 trip. You know, like the bugs are large enough that they would like 1 orb of dew per travel if you would like to provide them the incentive.
Yeah, I'm gonna get 4.
Ooh, big spend.
Yeah, I'm gonna immediately eat one of them myself.
Does chat want me to store one in my beer compartment?
Yes, absolutely.
The kid is kind enough to give you like a membrane wrapped one, so if you did want to store them in a bag or something like that they wouldn't you know, get everywhere and ruin all of your other things. And he runs off happily with his 2 gold pieces. It seems like you bought him out of all the due he had for the day, and you know is probably running home to show his parents what he managed to get. And yes, as you
that's just like talking to himself, but like where everybody else can hear about like what a good little boy that was.
I mean, as you guys get closer to the end of the line, you know, you've only been here for, you know, maybe 10 minutes or something like that, and already, you know, a couple, you know, probably in, you know, a few hundred, you know, other creatures have moved through the space. Like I said, it's a very efficient. It makes our subway systems look completely and utterly inadequate, no matter where you are. Even Japan looks inefficient compared to this. And so yeah, you guys start to approach, and you do see every now and again some people also getting offloaded in this area. And it's fairly evident who we're buying due and providing due to the creatures, as the people who aren't are coming out fine, fairly shaken and a little wobbly for at least the first handful of steps as they get off the platform and make their way to where they're going. And yeah, you guys are, you know, get to that point, and there is a, you know, conductor, I guess, to say the least, but as he is connected with the hive, he already knows everything that you guys know. He knows the location that you're going to and stuff like that, has communicated it to the bug and guides you up to stand in the center. There's a nice circle painted in the center of each of their bellies, and he says, keep your arms and legs within this space if you'd like to keep them. I highly recommend hunkering down, as this can be somewhat of a bumpy ride. Gives you a whole, you know, almost theme park ride, you know, spiel of what to do kind of thing. You know, tuck and roll if for whatever reason the bug opens up, as you will go flying. And yeah, he just sets you off on your spot and kind of waits for you guys to go. You do see also fairly easily accessible is the small mouth of this bug. For such a large bug, it is a surprisingly small mouth. Just, you know, just big enough to throw an orb or 2 of dew into.
So are we riding on this, like the inside of the bug, like it's curled around us, or are we on the back?
You're on the inside, so it'll curl around you and make like a little pod for you to roll inside of.
Like a little roly-poly or something.
Yeah, yeah, just a little pill bug. Well,
Oh,
it's not little,
Yeah.
but
A gigantic pill bug.
yeah, a truly massive pill bug. You guys see from the space that, you know, it could easily have, you know, like you guys don't take up even half of the space that it could hold. So, you know, you'd assume at least 10, you know, reasonably sized individuals could be taken to wherever locations they need to go with these.
I don't know about you, Rick, but I didn't know what a pill bug was.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I've always heard them called roly-polies.
I've heard both, so I don't know.
Okay, so it's not just a Canadian thing.
No.
Great.
No, definitely not a
Everything's
Canadian thing. Biology
invented
exists outside of
language.
Canada.
To varying degrees, I'm sure.
Yes, it depends on where you are. But yeah, the bug gives you a moment to insert any dew if you would like to do so, and then
Insert do now.
Yeah, I give it the due, and then like I go over and like I'm double checking to make sure everybody's good. I'm like, yeah, when I was a young Thrycreen, I used to work here, and so I'm just like making sure everybody's secure and everything.
Yeah, and as you're giving that message, you guys see it fairly like gently and slowly, maybe even a little more gently and slowly than you've seen some of the other bugs close up. It closes up around you, and you feel very instantly this sudden force of momentum as you are carried off to where you're assuming is the location you are hoping to go to. In this darkened space, it's hard to tell exactly how much distance you guys traveled, but again, you are inside a large god, and chat would know that this is a fairly large distance you're covering. If you were to walk this, it would probably take you like maybe even a handful of days to get there through all of the various tunnels and tubes of the pathway. But in the circulatory highway, it only takes you like an hour at most. You know, like it is a very quick ride. You guys are surprised at how soft and gentle the ride is. You don't get jostled too much like that. You just kind of roll with it. You'd expect being inside of this gigantic rolling creature that you would, gain some sort of, at the very least car sickness or pill bug sickness, I guess is what you'd call it. but no, like I said, it's a fairly enjoyable ride, and in no time, you guys are, happy to see the light open up as as the creature opens up, and you are sitting in what is a very uninhabited space. You do not see any other creatures around. It looks fairly dusty and unused. It is clear that we're correct in saying that this is a defunct area of the hive and has likely not seen passage, or, people passing through it in quite a long time. And the bug just kind of waits for you to exit.
So like the whole way there, every time we would like speed up at all, Chat's just like throwing his hands up in the air because he's like the opposite of me. I can't do roller coasters, but Chat loves it.
Yeah, so you Chat would know, and probably I would assume communicate that it's now only a short walk to the area that is the dew farm. It's about 30 minutes on feet to get to where you're going, and the pathway is fairly focused. There isn't a lot that was going on in this area other than the dew farm. It was one of the main focuses of this region, so there's a couple of little ancillary paths that go off, but it's very, even if you didn't know inherently where to go, it's fairly clear that where you want to go is this fairly large tunnel.
Okay. Nadir, you're built for success. Do you have to have a long rest to regain that?
I do.
Okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
if not, we could probably take a short rest, but
It's okay. I made my bed. I'll lie in it.
But you won't because you won't rest. So.
yeah.
Oh, good point. Good point.
You make your bed,
So-
but you can't lie on it.
I just stare at it longingly.
Yeah.
Every
I
single
don't-
night on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I guess-
chat starts to lead the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys would have had enough time for a short rest inside of that ride, but since you guys already had a long rest before, I don't think anyone would gain anything from a short rest in that time.
I don't need one.
Yeah, I didn't use anything that would need to recharge, so
Yeah. So you guys begin following the path. There, it's nothing major. Like I said, it's pretty unimpeded. You do see that it is a little unkept in a sense. There's some sections that have fallen down. Nothing that has sealed off any of the pathways or anything like that, but there are some decay and stuff that has gone on throughout the time that this has been unused, and so there is some rubble all over the pathways, and you see some weeping sores in some various spots, but nothing too problematic. And about 15 minutes in, you guys do hear, I guess almost it would be strange, especially in the context of what you've heard so far in this space, you do hear what almost sounds to be like a flowing river. And as you get a little bit closer, you do see that one of the old veins that are nearby has ruptured, burst open, and some caustic liquid has began to pour out of it, and there is a 60-foot wide river, for lack of a better term, of this caustic liquid right through the middle of the pathway that you're taking.
dang.
It looks
Okay.
like that needs a repair.
Could you look at that there, Kiyaki? I always want to say kayak. Every time I look at it.
I would have to investigate further, and perhaps the liquid that comes out should not be touched, but I would gladly give it a shot.
Yeah,
I'll come help.
from a repair standpoint, this is a very large tear that's flowing, right? This is like, more than the size of a person, and would take quite a team of fairly skilled people, you would imagine, or some very inventive solutions. And to even access the hole that is leaking out of would require you to, have some way of moving on or through the liquid to get to.
Yeah.
It's
That's kinda what I
more
was
than a
imagining.
foot in dimension.
The hole that is torn open. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite a few feet, right? It's probably like 8 to 10 feet wide and is burst open fairly large.
Can I punch it?
I mean, if you want to make it bigger and then go caustic wave surfing, probably.
Ooh.
We haven't tried that yet, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we did ride.
We're getting pretty good
what
at
did you call it,
surfing,
a
so.
fecal wave.
Mhm.
Definitely gonna be the name of my like sludge metal band.
Maybe it should be the start of a whole new techno music genre.
There we go.
If you guys heard that new Fecal Wave band, they're killing it. Absolutely love
I
it.
stink.
Yeah, DJ Stank slinging some of the best Fecal Wave around.
Fecal Wave is playing down at Bo's Bar and Grill later.
Is it wing night?
Always wing night. Every night's wing night.
Yeah.
At Bo's Bar and Grill.
Especially when Fecal Wave is playing.
Hell yeah.
So you said it's 60 feet across.
Yeah, you guys are, I don't know how accurate you would be in your measurement from
Right.
eyeballing it, but it looks to be about 60 feet. And I mean, getting closer to inspect the space that of, the where the leak is coming from, it's fairly evident that it's not a very deep river, right? It only seems to be about 4 feet deep.
Are we still floating in the astral plane?
Oh, yes, you are. I absolutely forgot that.
Cool, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
jump over.
Yeah, I'm
Just
just
gonna
gonna
fly.
walk.
Good point. Good point. I'm over here looking at all my spells and abilities. Like, how can we do this?
Jason, I was like, I got these fuckers this time. Oh no!
See, my methodology of GMing is I come up with the problem and I don't ever think of the solution. That's your guys' job. If I had spent 1 second thinking about this solution, I would have realized how pointless it was to have a river in the Astral Sea.
Hey,
You know,
it still killed some time for us because we had to figure out that we could do that.
Each one of us was like, "Oh my fucking god, what do I do about this? Acid? That's awful."
Right?
Yeah, like it wouldn't have been the worst thing. What I had planned is if you did try to wade through it, it would destroy. Okay, this is a little brutal, but it would destroy any non-magical equipment that it touched, and it would cause you 3d6 damage for wading through it if you
What?
failed a con save.
Oh,
So, like-
no big deal.
Yeah. Totally.
It's not like that much.
Half my health.
Only half my health, yeah.
Yeah, but like you are walking through a river of acid, so like that seems reasonable instead of just melting entirely.
Well, no worries. We can just fly over it. so-
Yeah.
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 Good thing we'll just
Yeah,
swim.
that-
It's fine.
That's the maintenance crew's job to worry about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
river. Like you gotta let them figure it out.
I don't get paid enough for that.
Yeah, you guys float over the little river without any major impediment, and
Hooray!
can continue on the way.
We win the encounter.
Yeah.
Before we get too much further, do we want to take a break? It is.
Yeah, I guess we
That's
have already
okay.
been going for an hour and a half. I think it's time for us to grab a quick refill, guys.
All right.
Sweet.
We will be back shortly. from our break and the very quick solution of my problem that I put in front of the party. I blanked on that, and I am more than happy that I did. Perfect solution to that problem. But yeah, you guys easily cross the river, just float across, all maybe shaking your heads a little bit that it took you that long to remember that you have 3D movement in this space. An insanely fast 3D movement. It's definitely going to help with what I have planned next. Not good for certain things in this situation, but good for you guys for sure. So yeah, you guys get across it, and it's, like I said, no major issue, and it's just, a fairly straight shot to where you're going. You keep on moving through, and just as you're about to, kind of hit that 30-minute mark, knowing that you're getting fairly close to the area, you guys do begin to hear the hum of what sounds to be a very busy place. You didn't, especially with the silence of what you've heard so far, this is almost jarring in a sense, the amount of noise. You hear the hum and buzz of a bunch of, insects going about whatever business they might be going about. I'm also going to need you all to make me a perception check, please.
You got it, boss.
Ooh, whopping 3.
Ooh, hilarious. I got an 18.
That's at 10 for chat.
I also got a 10 with my +7.
Oh.
I only got a 10 because I had 5, so we all rolled pretty low.
+1.
I believe chat. What's everyone's passive perception as well, just so that I have that.
20.
15.
17.
Alright, so it would stay with obviously Nadir noticing this and chat. The other two would be too taken back by the hum of all of the insects going on, but Nadir and chat do hear. I guess you would hear it as faint, but it's not faint in the sound of like distance. It's faint because it's being overwhelmed by the rest of the noises, so you can kind of hear this undertone of just a fairly consistent ringing going on. You're not entirely sure what it means per se, and as you get closer to the space, nothing happens really to anyone else, but chat does notice that his communication with the hive mind is getting weaker and weaker as he gets closer to the space. He's not noticing any other major impact or anything like that, but it's clear that what the mind or the core said, that there is interference going on in the areas where these humans are interacting with whatever their plans are. It is unable to communicate with any part of its the hive at these areas.
I think chat would just like to Nadir kind of comment that it's quiet in my head. It's not normally quiet.
That's a sign of mental illness.
Or a hive mind. It could be both.
I think Nadir, sensing that, would immediately cast Bless on his 3 companions.
You all have been blessed.
D4 to your attack rolls and saving throws.
Nice.
And how long does that last for?
It's only gonna last up to a minute, so if he has to recast it, but I assumed we were probably gonna get into something.
Yeah, you guys were fairly close to the entrance. You do see a corner, and chat would know that past this corner you will go into the opening of a fairly large region that this farm is a part of. So yeah, any preparations that you guys would want to take now would be your moment. Your bless obviously being a possibly good option. So do you guys want to just head through that, or do you want to take any specific tactics as you round the corner into the main space of your quest?
Friends, how likely do we think we're about to encounter some psychic damage?
I think chat would kind of comment on the fact that they're able to cut off the hive mind, so it seems likely.
Perhaps I should give this to chat, and I pull out a potion. It is a potion of psychic resistance that I got from earlier in the game.
Nice.
Do you want to drink this?
Yeah, I will do that. I don't really know how to do that on here, but
Well, I'll just take it off my inventory, but it's just potion of psychic resistance, so uncommon
Yeah.
item.
I believe it just gives you resistance to psychic damage, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
how long does
Gain
that last?
resistance 1 hour.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Interesting. So yeah, you guys, are you want to just round the corner and kind of head on in, or any specific tactics or like party positioning that you want to try and employ in these moments?
Yeah, I was just kind of looking through my stuff.
Delirious is not big on like
Mm.
I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna punch it. That's about it.
That's fair. Fair.
Are we about to enter into like a building?
No, you would. If I'm sure chat would communicate the general idea. It is like a very large cavern that has been, used as what you would call like a field in a sense. From the understanding of dew farming, I don't know how much he would have provided you with that, but it's multiple bugs each filling their own specific role. There are some that tend to the scrap piles, and then some flying ones that move the scrap from various locations, usually to the larvae that then eat it, and then they regurgitate the dew, and then another group of insects move them off, and so it's just kind of like a little factory in a sense. It's a fairly sizable room. No, most just like everywhere else you guys have gone through, everything's fairly well lit. I don't know if every insect would inherently have dark vision. Let's see, like if you're gonna probably most do, but I just just for everyone's benefit, the few that are unlucky enough to have those benefits and stuff like that, the hive being, like I said, a fairly socialist utopia in a sense, provides lighting for all who might need lighting, even though most probably don't. And it gives you better vision, right? Dark vision for anyone does have an end to it, of which like when you're going into a large area like this, which it is, you guys know it is a fairly sizable space that you'll be moving into. Like it'll be hundreds of feet by hundreds of feet kind of thing like that. That having that extra lighting is always a very valuable thing.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I can think of that chat's going to do, obviously his musket is readied, but then he's also using his chameleon carapace to try to blend in a little bit and give himself advantage on stealth.
Yeah, so do you guys want to try and like stealth your way in, get a view of the space? Do you just want to kind of run in and see what's going on? What's your game plan there?
Can't we just walk in slowly and observe?
Yeah, you can absolutely walk in slowly and observe. If you're not doing anything.
Asking my friends here, but
Right. Chat wants to kind of not go off on his own totally, but like go off a little bit to the side, or maybe even like to the side and ahead, using his stealth ability, just so that he can be sort of separate. Maybe find threats before they find the rest of the party, or like try to outmaneuver somebody if somebody comes along.
Absolutely fair. Does he want to be like scouting ahead at all, or does he just want to kind of move with the crew but like off to the side of the crew?
A little bit ahead, maybe like 20-30 feet ahead, and then off to the side, probably by about an hour.
So yeah, if everyone else is gonna let chat go off for a quick little second on his own, I don't know if anyone else wants to just bowl through and give up the plan or anything, but
Did chat want the potion of invisibility?
No.
Okay.
Since he has, I mean, that gives him advantage on stealth, and he's already got plus 10, so like it's pretty hard for him to be not very stealthy.
Yeah, fair
I'll go
enough.
one.
chat, remember, meat bags. Remember, meat bags. That's
Yes,
your
kill them.
secret word.
Kill them. Yes, understood.
Just in case
Say
things
it.
get dicey.
Kill who, chat?
Yeah, chat.
We
Kill
need
the
you
meat
to
bag.
say meat
Alright.
bag.
Kill the
Watching
meat bags that
you.
aren't right here.
So yeah, so I'm gonna get you to give me a quick stealth roll, Rick.
Cool.
With your +4.
It's funny because the first roll, thank God I have advantage, was a nat 1.
Go figure.
That's an 18, and then the +4.
Sorry, plus D4.
Right. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I just said it wrong. So that's a 21.
I said it wrong too, so I had to make sure I gave you the right information.
I appreciate that. It was almost a +4.
Just double checking. So you begin, you use your carapace camouflage, and you kind of blend in with the space around you and begin to kind of circumnavigate the wall, I would assume. So as you walk in, you see the area expand into a very large atrium-like space. Big, soaring ceilings of, like a couple hundred feet potentially in some areas, and, no less than 100 feet in other areas. It opens up to a large area. You do see across from you what appears to be like the edge of like the current area that you can see. There's a wall all around, and then off to your, I guess it would be to your left, it expands out to a massive area that you see hundreds of bugs going about doing what you know to be dew farming, right? You see them all kind of facilitating their roles. And as you give, a bit more of a search around, you do see a small camp set up on the far side near the wall that you can see on the very opposite side of where you're entering. You see a couple of tents. You see a very strange mechanical piece, a strange piece of machinery, and it is, you're not sure about its specific workings. You can, from your, perception roll, the ringing, you see it, and you kind of get the idea that it's likely where the ringing is originating from. And you see, like it's a large tuning fork, like the size of a couple of men kind of thing, and it is continually being wrapped by small hammers that allow it to continue its ringing. Okay. You do see a couple of people working, milling around. Most of them seem to just be kind of, general, soldier-ish types wearing, basic armor, having basic equipment. And you do see one, you would have noted as a slightly stranger figure. It is a small, it's a smaller stature human. Like they're still, clearly a human, but they are wearing a very strange bit of garb. You're not specifically sure, and they do carry around a large staff that also appears to, have a tuning fork at the top of it, and they're tinkering away at the large piece of equipment.
And we can all hear it, right? The tuning fork is just not affecting us the way it's affecting chat.
It was I believe Valerius and Kiaki were not able to pick it up from the rest of the noise of the bugs. Like it doesn't seem to have any major impact on anyone other than giving chat, like it seems to be interfering with his communication with the hive, and Nadir would hear the faint ringing throughout the din of, from all the ruckus that's around.
Yeah, so chat would definitely communicate and say, like, we need to destroy that fork, and then also communicate about the person with the staff.
It looks like a lot of useful scrap metal we could take back to the Kurd.
Yes, when we destroy it.
Yes.
I wasn't able to hear you there, Kate. I don't know if anyone else couldn't.
Wow, that's because I had my mic muted because I was messing around with a bag of chips. Don't worry about it. I said I'm always game to wreck stuff, and then I punched my fists together.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now he just looks angry all the time.
I thought you were just getting excited.
Yeah, I did too.
But yeah, if you guys have the Owlbear Rodeo pulled up, you have a fairly, this view of the area of what's going on.
Yeah, I think chat wants to
laid out there.
Pick up
I like your tuning fork. Very good.
I think chat wants to take up position, kind of. I'm not super familiar with this. I'm trying to figure out how I can just like hang.
Yeah, you should be able to like drag your thing as long as you have the hand or the move tool selected. You should be able to move your own token. Yours is the one with the 3 arrows and the bow.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna position myself like on that big rock, kind of like, nearish by.
behind it or like on top of it?
Probably on top of it.
I feel like on top of it would give people a fairly good view. I don't feel like your camouflage is enough to deal with what I guess snipers would call skylining. Like when you're on top of a structure, it inherently
like,
opens you up to viewable.
If I'm like laid down though, I feel like
I mean that's still a consequence of the skyline effect for snipers and stuff like that.
Depends on how round the rock is. If it's got like a little bit of a concave to it, he could hide behind the roller.
Yeah, I mean, if that's where you want to position yourself, you're definitely welcome to. I will request a secondary stealth check as you kind of get yourself onto that position.
Absolutely.
Are you able to make it that far, Rick?
I mean, we're not in initiative, so...
Yeah, everyone seems... They all seem to be going about their work, and so far, chat's stealth was more than enough for him to have fairly free reign movement of the space. If you guys come in, that's, will be at your discretion of how you want to interact with that. But, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not even going to use the bless this time, because it's a 27.
Yeah, absolutely. You are able to scramble on top of the rock, and you are, fairly skilled at your craft and stuff, and you know where you can find a nice little divot and a little bump that you can kind of nestle yourself behind. You don't have like the greatest view of their position at where you are right now. Like you could easily pop up, grab a quick shot, and then you'd probably be identified. But at the moment, from the lack of any sort of surprise or interaction from the people, they all seem to be going about their work, that you're not worried at the moment about being visible to them.
Perfect.
And then, what do the rest of you guys want to do? Do you want to roll in? Do you want to kind of sneak your way up, or?
Valerius, Nadir, what do you think we should do? Valerius is usually quite good with the communication, so we could try talking to them first. After all, we don't know the full story.
I mean, I don't mind rolling up and talking and then punching. Those are my two favorite things.
I feel like Nadir would want to go up to the tuning fork. So he'll probably take the potion of invisibility and try to stealth his way up to the tuning fork to position himself to destroy it. Like, given the word from chat, he would just wreck it.
Sounds good.
Kyaki, as you go invisible, Kyaki's like, here, don't damage it too much. I would really like to use as much of that as possible, please.
Okay. He looks at her. He's like, I'll try to salvage what I can. Is that just advantage on stealth check?
Just give me just a normal stealth check, and I'll distinguish. But it's more so in what I'm gonna do in this situation is just, unless you totally flub a stealth check where you would be collapsing and fumbling on yourself, especially with the noise of the insects and stuff going around, you pretty much have to get a terrible stealth check for it to have any negative consequence here.
Okay, I got a 17.
Yeah, more than enough, right? You're able to time everything fairly efficiently, and with bangs and booms and hums and buzzes and stuff like that, and very easily get up there, and no one can see you, and as long as you're standing there fairly quietly, no one will have any interest in your space, right? You are fairly close to a handful of them. You can see them all going about their work as well. Most of the guys are just kind of milling around the tents. They don't seem to have any very particular work they're doing. They almost seem more like guards, and then you do see the shorter statured human doing their work on the tuning fork. They seem to just be turning knobs and tightening screws and doing various adjustments to the piece of equipment.
When I get close to it, am I able to do investigation or something? Just I want to see what exactly is this thing doing? How does it work, and how is it jamming their I guess hive mind kind of thing?
Yeah, give me an investigation check just for taking in the machinery and stuff like that, and then give me an intelligence check to see if you're able to distinguish what is going on there.
So a 6 and a 4. So.
Yeah, you see, like I said, it's nothing too crazy. It seems to be that this is a very specific frequency that's coming off of it that you're able to pick up, and it's not something you commonly have heard in your lifetime in a sense. And yeah, it just seems to be these little hammers that are kind of more or less as soon as it starts to dip at all in its ringing, another one of the little hammers hits it, and they seem to all be perfectly timed to like just keep it pretty consistently humming. You're not sure the specifics of it, but you would assume that the sound is providing some amount of interference.
Valerius, where did you go to go talk to them?
I came up to like kind of approaching the humans.
Yeah, where they can see you. I'll come with you then.
Sure.
So yeah, as you two walk forward, it eventually becomes, like very clear that you guys are approaching, and all of the guards kind of all, take up position in the various region of you, and you hear one of them say halt, and you see I guess this guy would kind of just be like over here. They're just kind of all like ready. They don't get too close to you. They're not looking like inherently like they're like gonna like slit your throat by any means, but they're on guard and they're ready for anything that might happen. As the shorter stature human comes walking forward, and they're wearing, just pretty standard robes, nothing too majorly identifying, and they're walking with their staff that has the little tuning fork on, and they walk up and approach you, and it seems pretty clear that they're the main operation of this, like they're the ones that are running everything. And they kind of come up and they very calmly and fairly respectfully and calmly, give you a little bow, say, hello, I'm Artop. This is my crew. What can I do for you today?
Hello, greetings. My name is Valerius Strongarm. I'm sure you've heard of me. But we have been asked to come and check out what is going on here. Just curiosity, just curious what this large device that you have here is, and what brings you to this world.
And yeah, the acknowledgement of the device, you see Artop get like a very a little smile curl around their lips, and seem more than happy to kind of get into it. They're like, oh, we're running some experiments. We've heard that the Hive is one of the most efficient machines out there, and we were looking to replicate it for various uses. Me and my crew, and you assume that when he says my crew, he's not talking about the guards that are around. You would assume it's more like a research group or something like that. Have been investigating the Hive for a long time, and we've developed these pieces of equipment, and we think with these we'll be able to, replicate our own set of workers.
When you say replicate, you don't mean slaves, right?
And you see like Artop like, well, the term slave is
Oh.
debatable, isn't it? Like these things aren't sentient in the way that we understand. Like they're not gonna look up at the stars and wish for their freedom. So is that enslavement? And aren't they already slaves to the Hive?
So
No.
how far, like, each of these squares, is this just like a standard 5 foot, or what's our like?
Yeah, they're just the standard 5 foot spacing.
Okay, chat's just like, I'm killing him.
You can fire whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot him.
Okay,
So-
well, you get a surprise round, and then I'm going to ask for initiative from everybody.
Perfect.
Great.
Wow, I am so glad I had advantage on that too. Holy shit.
Hey, and because you have advantage, don't forget about sneak attack.
Well, yeah,
Hey.
that's what he was
You
saying.
also have your +4, or your
Yeah,
+1 d4.
Hold on, it did a weird thing. I think that was a nat 20 though. I think that was a nat 1 and then a nat 20. Let me look. Yeah, that was a nat 1 and then a nat 20. So as a
Nice.
crit. So I don't need that d4.
Put on damage.
I mean, I appreciate it.
I don't think it can go on damage. Like it's just the
thought you said
attack,
they were-
Yeah.
Alright.
attack rolls
Oh.
and saving throws.
And then Jaden, I can't remember, how do you do crits? Do you want me to just roll it again? Like roll damage?
Yeah, I like doing the double roll. Who doesn't like rolling more dice?
Exactly. So that is 10 on the first, and then 18 on the second.
Jeez.
I also does sneak attack, does that use an action or like a bonus action?
No, it's just a thing that happens.
No, yeah,
Oh,
it's
thank
just damage.
Cool. So I'm going to use my favorite foe. When I hit a creature with an attack roll, I can mark it as my favorite enemy for 1 minute. And And so this is, I just need a ruling on this from you. It says the first time on each of your turns that you hit them, I can add a d4 of damage. Would that count this time, or would that be like every round after?
I feel like it would be every round after, because it implies like your first hit is you marking them in a sense, and then from that point on you have more of a capability with it.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I am going to use my Planar Warrior ability that I've been forgetting to use this entire time, that I forgot I even had. That adds an extra d8. So that is another 3 damage on top of that.
Perfect. Yeah, your shot is just perfect. It lines up right, and it just blows through their one shoulder, not their staff-using shoulder, and their arm, though not removed, it seemingly is not very useful at this point.
Hanging on by a thread.
To say the least.
You had to call them things. You had to call them things. Now we need to punch you.
Yeah, and I don't believe any of that was a bonus action, so I want a bonus action Misty Step over there.
Like to right into the thick of it, or what do you mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go behind that guy.
Perfect. I am just rolling out initiatives for everything right now.
Oh yeah, I guess I should probably roll that still, huh?
Yeah. And if anyone has already rolled theirs, they want to tell me what they rolled.
A big old 7.
12.
I got a 15. Oh, Kelly, you were muted.
I got a 3.
Ooh, guys, not your top initiative rolls.
My initiative is plus
mine was
1. I'm never going first.
Yeah, mine's also only plus 1.
So yeah, we start off our initiative with the wizard, or it's a wizard if anyone's wondering. They are a wizard that was shot.
Great.
And after getting shot, you guys see like a huge amount of panic on their face, and they
Yeah, I
are
bet.
going to cast invisibility on themselves. And you guys see as they kind of, shimmer and fade out, and you do hear as they're doing that their tuning fork hit on the floor, and you hear a much louder ring as you guys see I guess you guys would have already seen the scorpion milling around, but I did not describe that. You do see a scorpion off to the side as it looks over down on you, and then you guys also see 2 spiders begin to descend behind you guys.
Gross.
They're coming down from the ceiling in various positions, and then you also hear some very loud humming beginning. You guys currently cannot see where that humming would be coming from, but it is very evidently something beginning to fly.
Great.
We'll actually remove those from there for now.
Fantastic.
And that is their turn. I now need to hide their token. Perfect. And then that will move on. Oh, yeah, the spiders is now their turn, and they land down on the ground, and they begin to move towards you. One gets kind of in the general vicinity, and this one positions itself there, and they are each going to sling webs at you guys. So the one is going to sling a web at Chat. That is a 20 to hit. Dirty 20, does that?
Yeah, no, that hits somehow.
Okay, I figured, but you never know. I feel like you guys' ACs are starting to get up there. And so you are restrained by the webbing. As an action, the restrained target can make a strength check to burst from the webbing. You guys could also attack the webbing if you feel so inclined. And then the other one, what do I have my plans here? Is going to sling its web at Valerius, being the larger of the 2 targets.
Yeah.
And that is a 17 to hit.
Meets it.
Okay. So yeah, you also are surrounded by this web as it kind of, coax around you, and you feel yourself being, held into place at this moment. And then that moves on to chat's turn.
I don't remember with Misty Step. Could I get just like out of the web using that?
Let me see what the specifics of restrain. A restrained creature's speed becomes 0 and it cannot benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Ooh, see, now that's an interesting thing. I guess let me just quickly see what are the the casting components of Misty Step? Is it semantic and those kind of things?
Just verbal.
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't Misty Step out of that space. It's use up a bonus action, but it frees you up from using an action.
Yeah. So where are the webs currently? Is that something that we could mark in some way?
No, the webs are just wrap around you. They're not like areas of
Gotcha.
they don't build terrain or anything like that. It's just like a capsule that's shot at you, and then like bolo or whatever you'd call them kind of wraps you up, kind of deal.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna Misty Step over to here.
It's good. Yeah,
And
you
then-
pop up right behind the guy.
Cool. Would I have advantage since I'm behind him? Like he doesn't run
Advantage
the-
and no, I
Like,
assume that when you pop up behind him, he would notice you. Like, I don't think that you're
Good
that
ask.
stealthy in this moment.
Good ask.
Yeah, he can feel
Alright.
your bug breath on the back of his neck or something like that.
All right, so I'm gonna hit him with a short sword.
Absolutely. So when you make that move, I can't remember. Have I set a hard ruling on like swapping weapons and stuff like that? Because the way I usually do it is that I don't mind someone drawing a weapon, but the action of like putting away a weapon and pulling out another weapon to me seems like that would take up like a whole action slot. So if
Right.
but I'm always down for somebody like I'm gonna drop my one weapon and draw a weapon, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
consider
that's
that
actually
to
what
be a thing, right? So like if you leave your musket on the ground, you're more than capable of grabbing out a short sword and slashing them like kind of like a quick draw, like samurai style.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Unfortunately, it looks really cool, but it doesn't hit, I'm sure, because it's a 9.
You would be amazed. I can't really remember what these guys' AC are.
Roll
Okay,
your
no,
D4.
it doesn't
yeah.
hit.
I forgot. Hold on, I forgot about the D4.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was +4, so 13.
Yeah, that does hit. And I will say that, like, between all of the stuff that you guys did, I think you guys can all have, like, this round of your turns on the Bless, but I feel like after this round, it will have been
Yeah.
a minute since it was cast for sure.
I think that's fair.
Absolutely. That is. Oh wait, it gave me sneak attack damage that time. I don't know why. So that's 10 damage.
Yeah, you go and you manage to make a deadly stab. It goes, like, right through their abdomen, and they haven't dropped down dead or anything like that, but they are, breathing raggedy and are clearly very unhappy.
Cool.
These people don't seem to be like the most skilled warriors by any means. They're all wearing very basic rudimentary equipment, and if you saw them in a street fight or something like that, you would all feel comfortable taking them on. Even in a, Nadir would be fine fist fighting these people.
Well, yeah, he beat that guy in an arm wrestling match.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like put my foot on him since he's like, he said partially collapsed, and just be like, surrender now.
Yeah, I don't think he wouldn't like maybe fall into the ground. He's just more like, like really slumped and probably screaming in pain as he looks down on a sword sticking through his stomach.
Well, still, as he slumps down, I'm putting my foot on him.
I mean, yeah, he's like, again, he's not on the ground, so there's not something to stand on,
Right.
but you can definitely put your foot on like his back or something. It'd be a very interesting sight.
Sorry, and he died?
No, he's just hanging on. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
most people don't get stabbed through the stomach and live very long past that point. And that's everything you want to do for your round there?
I think that's all I can do. Yep.
Okay,
Ruin, you have
we
a
move on.
visitor.
Pardon me?
You have a visitor.
Yeah, the door is closed and he wants up, but I'm
Oh,
trying to get him just to lay down in the living room over here.
yeah.
Well, it's your turn, and then you'll have some time to go and
Run up.
release him.
Okay, thank you. I was really hoping that thing was gonna die, but that's okay. I'm going to pop Bless again, just because there's fewer of us than there are of them. So, I believe everybody within, is it 30 feet? Yeah.
I believe so.
So,
Should
Yep,
be
you all
of
yeah,
should
us.
be
it can
within
get
the
to all
range.
3 of them. So they will all get a Bless on them. So
Nice.
D4 to everything. And then I think Nadier's just gonna try to reach out to chat telepathically and say like, "Is it time, chat?"
I just want to give you a quick note that your invisibility does wear off when you cast a spell or make an attack. So if you do want to change your thought pattern on this, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, so he would ask the question first then. Is it time, chat?
It's time.
All right, then instead of casting Bless, sorry guys, because yeah, you're right. I don't want to give up my invisibility yet. I am going to try to sabotage this tuning fork, and so he's going to use his quarterstaff to reach out and do a D6 or a D8 because he'll use both hands for it. And then he can also do. We're level 6, so 3 more necrotic damage to it.
Nice. As you age the metal a little bit more. Yeah, so as you know,
It gets life
chat
force out.
goes and swings at it, he does manage, or not chat, Nadir. You do manage to, knock off one of the hammers from the machine. You do inadvertently give it a little bit more of a powering up as you hit it, so you hear the ringing slightly increase. But you have some assumption that now that at least one of the hammers has been knocked off, it'll throw off at least the timing of the machine at this moment.
Perfect. And he knows that chat has that potion that he's taken, so hopefully that will help him. That's what he hopes will happen.
Makes sense.
And then with that, he's just gonna try to keep invisible, but he's definitely got some reactions and bonus actions up his sleeve in case he needs it.
Did you say you want to remain invisible? Because as soon as you swung your thing, you would also an attack
Oh.
or casting a spell causes you to.
It
There's
wasn't
pretty
just
much
a casting.
nothing you can do
Yeah, no kidding.
useful in this position. It gives you the capability of having like a surprise round or a surprise moment, right?
You get into position, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Kiaki, what's your AC?
16.
16. Chat, what's yours?
17.
Okay, so he's gonna just use his bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on Kiaki, granting her a +2 to her AC.
Hell yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Not bad.
I wish there was a way I could note that.
Hey, we're being raided by the Voctair. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
And to enjoy some quick combat, we don't even have that much time left. We will get this rolling. That's your round, I'm assuming?
That is
Nadir?
my turn, yeah.
Okay, so we then move on to the giant scorpion, and it has. Well, it's not intelligent enough to gain any advantage of being in the astral sea, so it is just going to use its good old-fashioned feet to move. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and that is as far as it can go, and that is what it is going to do for its turn. Because, yes, it doesn't have anything else that it's good for, and that moves on to Valerius's turn.
Awesome. So I'm going to rage as my bonus action, and then take my action to tear out of the webs. There's no check for that. I just.
It's a strength check.
Is it strength check? Just
Yes.
a straight check or a saving throw?
Let me just double check here. Web. It's just a strength check.
10.
Surprisingly, the muscle of the group is not able to tear through these webs in this moment as he strains against them.
I have
Oh.
advantage on it. Sorry, 1 sec.
Yep, no worries. Take that advantage.
10. I rolled 10 twice. Damn it.
The perfect advantage roll. Yeah, you do your best to strain against the webs, but they aren't seemingly being able to budge at this moment. Maybe you've weakened them a little bit, but they're not breaking in this exact moment.
Okay. Then that's all I can do. I can't move, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We then move on to the crew of bandits. The one seeing his buddy get stabbed is going to move over there, and the other one is as well. And then, so they're all going to work around Chat, seeing him do some fairly serious amount of damage. And then the one is going to move on Kiaki, seeing the gift not being able to really dig its way out. So yeah, the one that got stabbed by Chat is going to pull itself off of your blade, and all three of them are going to take strikes with their scimitars at you.
Oh shit.
If they hit, they're not very capable. That's a 7, so that definitely doesn't hit. That one has a 22 to hit, and that one hits.
That does hit, yeah.
The other one has a 13, which I'm assuming does not hit.
Does not hit.
Yeah, so one of them in the flurry of blades, you're not sure exactly which one, but one does manage to get through your armor and hits you for 4 damage.
Okay. That's not horrible.
Then the one that ran up to Kiaki is going to take its attack, and that is another 22, which I'm assuming hits.
Yes.
And that is 5 damage to Kiaki.
Okay, that's fine.
And then you guys hear the humming that you heard start up when when our top there rung his little staff, and you do see now 2 giant dragonflies beginning to fly towards you guys. Goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
Ooh.
35, 40,
Wow.
45, 50, 55, 60. What's its range on its attack? Ooh, it is not able to reach Chat there, and the other one is going to come flying in from this side. 25, 30, 35, 40, 60. Yeah, and the other one is not able to get to you guys just yet, and we come to Kiaki's turn.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend my 2 sorcery points to cast a spell as a bonus action. So I'm gonna cast Mirror Image, which is gonna create 3 duplicates of Kiaki. And then she is going to move to over here near the spiders.
Okay, and as you pull away, that one bandit is going to take an attack of opportunity against you.
right.
Definitely doesn't hit. That's a 6, so you're more than able to
Great.
duck under the swing.
Okay, and then I'm going to throw my dagger at number 1 for 23.
Of the
hit?
spiders, you're saying, right? That definitely
Yes.
hits.
Okay, it does 5 piercing damage, and then the dagger pops back in my hand, and I do it again to number 2.
Okay.
So 15 on number 2 to hit.
Also hits.
Great. And then max damage for 6 piercing damage, and then boop, dagger pops back in my hand. And now there are 3 of me. I guess 4 total. Let me read the spell. But yeah, so there's multiples of me, and I will have to roll a d20 to see who gets hit next time I'm
Sounds
attacked.
good.
That's my turn.
Okay. And we will move back up. You guys are not currently privy to this, but the wizard is on. It's their initiative. What's the range on there? Okay, so they're gonna go. Oh man, yeah, they can really zip around. Oh, they're gonna tuck themselves just there. Just grab some quick measurements. Oh, yeah, seeing someone attacking their equipment, they are going to blink back into existence as their invisibility ends, and they are going to send 2 arcane blasts towards Nadir. The first one is a 14 to hit.
No.
And the second one, 17 to hit.
Meets.
Okay, so that does hit. And Nadir takes 11 damage as, just an orb of magical energy slams you in the chest. And that is their turn. We then move on to the spiders. The one that hit Valerius is going to walk up on Valerius. What happens when
They get advantage on attacking you, don't they?
Yes, I believe so. As restrained, attack rolls against creature have advantage, and the creature attacks. Yeah, you. Apparently, you are able to attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. So you're able to attack. You're just not able to move.
Yeah.
So the one's gonna move up on Valerius. The other one's gonna move up on Kiaki. And they are each going to make a bite attack. First one is at Kiaki.
I get to roll to see if it hits me or a duplicate, though.
Yep.
So, okay. Roll. It hits a duplicate.
Okay, that is a 20 to hit.
Okay, that duplicate goes away.
Okay, so yeah, it bites into the duplicate, obviously being confused, not making anything notable past that point, and then the other one's going to make its attack at Valerius, and it has advantage.
Gonna miss.
Ooh, first one was a nat 1.
Yeah, another one, nat 1.
Second one is a 7, so that's 12 to hit, which does not get through Valerius's mighty invisible armor. Yeah, it just goes down in its massive, oh god, fangs. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Especially at this size, they're definitely fangs. I mean, they're almost short swords probably at this size. Just as they're about to pierce into Valerius' skin, they just stop at whatever invisible force is surrounding him, and it just looks a little bewildered as we move on to Chat's turn.
Okay. How far away would you say the dragonfly is, like, height-wise?
It's coming in fairly low to the ground. I would say that it's about 10 feet up at the moment.
Okay. But I guess it's still a few feet away, right?
Yeah, so it's even if you were under it, you wouldn't be able to hit it per se at this position that it's in with a sword.
I'm decently tall.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on your height of it all, and then swinging your arm 10 feet up. Yeah, you could probably swing at it.
From where I am right now?
No, because you're not in the 5-foot range. Like it's just outside of your swinging range of your sword.
Okay, that's all right. That's not what I wanted to do. I just was curious. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna try and hit the same guy.
Sounds good.
That
That's
I
the
already
one that's
hit.
above your token.
Perfect. Does a 26 hit?
Yeah, definitely hits.
And then I forgot earlier, I should have taken 2 musket attacks because I have 2 attacks. The second is a 19.
Are you wanting? I'm just gonna, just for the sake of things, don't waste it on that guy. Hit someone else with your second hit.
Yeah, that's fair.
These guys seem very fragile and squishy, and I feel like Chat would be smart enough to know that hitting the one guy that he already stabbed through would be enough to finish him at any, amount.
Right. Yeah. So the first would be 5 on the wounded guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then on whoever, really doesn't make a difference to me right now. And it's another 5.
So yeah, you go and make 2 quick strikes. The one at the first guy, just big deep cut right into his chest as he just collapses down onto the ground, gurgling and dying. And then the other one, you manage to grab another good stab, kind of piercing through one of their legs, kind of thing. They're take a decent little hit from that one for sure.
I'd like to use a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing the one die in front of Chat, I'm going to use a reaction to cast Bardo, and which I will do 6d8 damage to the spider in front of Valerius.
Jeez, 6d8. I'm sure that's gonna work out well for the spider.
Oh wait, sorry. How do I reset the counter? Oh, that's right click. Okay, roll. 27 damage to the spider.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What kind of damage is it? Does it say what kind of damage it is?
It's psychic.
Yeah, you guys
Oh.
see as like the spider just kind of like stiffens up and like almost like vibrates and shakes a little bit as it then like just curls up into a ball, like when you see like an old dead spider and it just lays there clearly dead.
You spray it with Febreze. Just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Number 1?
It was number 2, the one
2.
in front of Valerius.
No,
Okay.
Jaden, I'll be honest, I don't know what it's like save or anything would have been. Did you want me to figure that out?
No, it's more than we'll just say it's dead. There's enough things for you guys to kill here,
Okay.
and it probably would have failed any saves it has because it does not have good save rolls, anyways.
So before I forget, I'm gonna mark this second guy that I attacked as my favorite foe for next time, and then also I have 2-weapon fighting, so I still have a third attack then, right?
I don't know how that stacks.
Well,
I
because
feel
like
like you should, right? Like, because it gives you an attack with
Yeah.
an attack, right? So like your one attack is an attack, and then you get a full second attack with your class. So yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
you should have a third attack.
Okay. Then I'm going to bonus action use my Planar Warrior first, so it could add like an extra D8 of damage if I hit, and it just does. Yeah, next weapon attack. So, I mean, it really doesn't do anything. It doesn't take any spell slots or anything. I can allegedly use it as much as I want.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a bonus action or something you're saying, right? So
Does it? Wait, do we still have? No, you didn't cast Plastic Hand. Crap. Does a 10 hit?
no, a 10 does not. It is not able to dig through their leather armor.
Well, I tried.
Yeah.
And that's my turn.
Okay, and we move on to Nadir's turn.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just gonna remove that spider because it's dead.
yeah, I'm gonna continue to hit this tuning fork and try to dismantle it. And I'm not gonna change bonus action or anything because I want to keep that +2 to Kiaki, and so I think I'm good actually.
Okay. So yeah, take your swing. Let me know how much damage you hit the tuning fork for.
5 damage.
Yeah, so there was 4 hammers all knocking away at it. You managed to knock off another hammer, and you definitely notice that there is some issues going to come from the timing of the ringing on this implement for sure.
Perfect.
And then we roll over to the giant scorpion, which, what can it do? It's going to, oh yeah, I think I have a plan for that, yep. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, are you kidding me? It's still not able to get to Nadir. He's in the perfect position. That is going to, yeah, start moving towards him, and it rolls to Valerius's turn.
Okay, so now that the spider is dead, does its web go away? Is it magic web? Did he have
I
to
don't-
concentrate on the web?
No, I believe the web is just a stagnant
Alright,
thing.
That's kind of what I figured. Okay, in that case, yeah, I'll make the strength check to try to get out of it.
Who knew Valerius
10
could be
again.
stopped by something like a web?
Yeah, I'm still stuck. I rolled a 10 again.
He's finally met his match. The mighty web.
Do you have like a tinderbox or something?
That would be an action to like pull something out and light it on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you roll 2 10s last time? Like,
I did, and then I rolled a 10 and a 7 this time.
yeah, there's something jacked up on those dice.
So I guess I'm just hanging out. Enjoy the
Yeah.
combat, guys. I'm just here.
I didn't expect this web to be that big of an impeding factor.
Yeah, neither did I.
Pat's just like, it's fine, Valerius. We've got it handled. You just hang out
and
there.
because I haven't been able to attack anything, my rage ends, so that's cool.
Mm.
So yeah, so we move on to the bandits. The one is going to move up and take a swing at Valerius, and the other 2 are going to keep swinging away at Chat. Valerius's one's first. It's a 12. That definitely doesn't hit. And then the 2 attacking chat. First swing is a 12. Also doesn't hit. And the next one is a dirty 20.
That does hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he swings his scimitar at you again, and that is another 4 damage from one of them. And then we roll over to the dragonflies. The one dragonfly is going to go 5, 10, 55, 60. So the one gets in almost in range with Valerius, but with its 10 feet above the air, it is not in the range to swing at him. And the other one is going to move in and sweep down at Chat and make a bite attack. And that is a 15 to hit from the dragonfly. I'm assuming it does not do anything there. So that is its turn, and we move to Kiaki.
Okay. I want to cast Magic Missile, but I need to know if this rock is in my way.
I feel like the rock that you're behind, like if you hunkered down behind it, you would be able to get some cover from it, but you're more than capable of seeing over it. It's
like,
probably, you know,
shoot
like
over it.
Yeah, it's like 4 feet
Great.
tall kind of thing.
Okay, I will target the spider next to me and then the 2 dragonflies. That's my missiles. Fuck, dude. Minimum damage of 2 force damage to everybody. Bullshit.
Hey, at least
I mean,
you can
hey.
attack.
Yeah.
Every bit of damage counts. Your arrows zip off and, you know, manage to just hit like kind of center mass of all of them, not doing anything super notable.
And then I'm gonna disengage from the spider, and I'm going to run over, or float over here.
Yeah, you definitely have the distance to do that for sure.
I do.
Would you be able to disengage since you cast Magic Missile? Is it disengage in action?
I believe disengage
Unless
is an
you're
action.
a rogue, and then it's a bonus action.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's
about
why
that.
I took rogue.
If I
Part
have
of
to
it.
suffer, everyone has to suffer.
Oh, that's okay.
If I'm going down, I'm bringing y'all with me.
Yeah,
Alright.
you're welcome to take that movement if you want.
Sorry,
but the spider will
I
get a.
said disengage, but I meant just leave, like not actually do a disengage action.
Disengage lowercase d, not capital.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
the
But
spider
thank you.
will make an attack of opportunity at you, and that
Go
is
ahead.
a 24 to hit, which I'm assuming
Yes.
does.
Yes.
That is 6 damage from the bite, and I also need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh, fine. 14?
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, you feel I don't know. I always hate when like you get poison damage, like it's like, and like you make a con check, so it's like you feel like the damage flow through you, but you aren't damaged or something. I don't know. I feel like you just pull your arm away quick enough that the spider isn't able to inject its venom into your arm
Great.
as you're running away from it. And then we move on. Yep, to the illusionist's turn, and they are going to. What attack do they want to make? Yeah, we're not gonna go at that point. They are going to take another set of arcane blast multi attacks this time. No, I feel like they're gonna throw both at Nadir again. They're really unhappy that you keep trying to dismantle their machine, all their precious work. So the
fair.
first one is a 12. That definitely doesn't hit. And then nat 20 on that. So 25 to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
Okay, so that is. Oh, geez, that is some heavy hits. That is a total of 33 damage for their crit.
Holy
I'm
shit.
down.
Oh. Oh, buddy.
I think this is the first time for this campaign somebody's been unconscious,
Down?
right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
I believe so.
that was
Um,
weird.
Congratulations, I think.
And it's your healer.
Yeah, of course.
Which makes sense. If you're gonna attack somebody, you're gonna go for the healer.
Yeah.
And yeah, you hear a little like ha go like out from the little caster there, and then they're gonna like dip behind the rock and kind of shuffle to the other side. And then we move on to the spider's turn, but Nadir's work of swinging away at the machines has, resolved in some fruitful moments, and you guys hear the ring stop for a moment as none of the hammers are set in a position to hit, and you see all of the insects just kind of like stand stagnant at the moment, and the one spider doesn't take its action or do anything specific on its turn, just kind of standing there confused. And we move on to Chat's turn.
So I need your opinion on this. Would speak with animals allow me to communicate with the dragonfly?
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't.
Okay.
It would allow you would have, but again, I believe they say that talking in combat is, like it's a very quick endeavor. Like you'd be able to send it like a very quick message and maybe receive like a very quick response.
That's fine. That's all I need. So I'm going to. My action is cast speak with animals, and I'm just going to be like, "Can I ride you?"
Whoa.
At least he's asking
Dinner
consent,
first.
guys.
Yeah, it's consent. Maybe
No,
the
that's
dragonfly doesn't
breakfast
want dinner
later.
first, Cade. Maybe you just
Yeah,
want
it's
to get
breakfast
rid of
later.
it.
Just saying. A little whining and dining never hurt anybody.
It
Listen,
might,
man,
you don't know.
sometimes you gotta do it first,
Yeah.
eat later. Otherwise, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, Chad is all about the breakfast after, not the dinner first.
So yeah, as you notice with the spider and other creatures, it currently seems to be just kind of stunned from the effects of the ringing, like not continuing on in a sense, and it seems to just almost in a sense be recalibrating to the lack of that noise. And so it doesn't really like give you any specific answer. It just seems to be kind of preoccupied at the moment.
Okay, I don't love that, but could I quickly grab my gun and try to like use my movement to leap onto it?
Yeah, I feel like
like-
that would be something you'd be able to do. I think it would take up like your actions and stuff like that in this
Yeah.
round, but yeah, you could definitely go for it.
Cool. Do you want me to roll anything to try and like climb onto it?
Yeah, just give me an acrobatics check just to see how fluid you are.
Animal handling.
Yeah, you are just able to snag your gun, and you do like jump up onto the dragonfly. You're a little unsteady. You're kind of, catching your balance, but you do land firmly on it.
Perfect. Cool. That's it.
And so then we move on to Nadir's turn. So I need you to make a saving throw for me.
Oh,
Listen,
buddy.
I'm gonna be honest that I've never done that before. So what do I do?
It's just a D20, and if it's below a 10, you take a failure. If it's above or below, yeah, I said 10, right? I can't remember. If it's below a 10, you take a failure. If it's above a 10, it's success.
And I
10
add
or
my
above.
saving throws over here, or I add nothing because
Oh,
it's
death
straight up. Oh,
saves are just their own thing.
fail.
Okay,
Mm.
so you mark one failure.
It was a 4.
Yeah, that's just a
Is
fail.
it
So you
crit
just
fail
mark.
auto death.
It
No,
causes
but you
two
get
fails.
two.
So almost auto death.
Yeah, well, it is now for you.
Listen, I don't love the little face with X's for eyes.
And we are going to move on then to the giant scorpion's turn, and seeing oh no, it's not doing anything again. It's in the same catatonic state as all of the other bugs seem to be from the lack of ringing. We then move back to Valerius's turn.
All right, Valerius is just mad at this point. So rather than trying to break the web, he's just gonna punch the ever-loving shit out of this guy that's standing in front of him.
Might
so
as
yeah,
well.
so I'm gonna
You do
rage
take-
as my bonus action because I have to do it again, and I have another one. And then I am going to attack with my brass knuckles.
Yeah, and
let's
rage gives you advantage on your attacks, correct? can't remember how
no,
rage
just
works.
strength saves and strength checks.
Okay, so you do take disadvantage on your attacks.
That is
For-
a-okay.
while
I get a
you're
plus
restrained.
6, so
Yeah, you're probably gonna do good, but
yeah.
keep it safe.
17 on both.
Sometimes the double rolls work out in your favor. Yeah, that definitely hits.
All right, cool. I'm also gonna use my Divine Smite, because I'm just mad at this point. so that's 7 plus the 2 from Rage makes 9. Plus, I'm gonna do it at my second level, so 3d8s. So that's 9 plus 12, 21 damage.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There he goes.
You just put all of your rage and your anger at this web into this one strike, and you punch him and blow a hole in his chest. Your arm doesn't even go through it. It's just the sheer amount of force as it stops, like cuts out like a perfect little tunnel through his chest as he like looks down, tries to say something, and collapses to the ground dead.
Awesome. And with my other attack, can I punch the web? Because I feel like that's all Valerius could do at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. You've been locked down long enough.
Do I still get disadvantage if I'm punching a stationary object that is attached to me?
Oh, that is an interesting. I feel like you getting disadvantage on this is no, but I think if you roll a really killer hit, you might damage yourself a little bit.
All right. Jesus, an 8.
Let me just check the web. I don't think it has like a very high AC, if any. I think it's like almost impossible to miss the web in a sense. Yeah, you hit the web.
Perfect.
So roll it for some damage.
And I'm raging, so 9 damage.
Yeah, you somehow managed to just
I
like
can
with
smite
one
again if I got
mighty.
it, Jaden.
No, you're good. With one mighty hit, you just hit this web, and it all just the sheer force like bursts off of you in this like kind of like cloudy mist of web swirling around Valerius as he pulls like a very epic pose.
Awesome. And then with my movement, I'm gonna run over and put myself between the scorpion and Nadir.
Sounds good.
I don't have any action left to do anything to help Nadir, but I can be there at least.
I understand the attention, and thank you.
And then we move to the bandits' turns. One of them is dead. Gotta remove him from the situation. And then the other two, seeing Chat make their move, they're gonna throw their blades down and they're gonna pull out their crossbows. And they're each gonna take a shot at Chat. First one is a 16 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay, and then the second one is a 5 to hit, which definitely doesn't hit. Both they're just in their quick movements. They're pulling up too fast and they whiff way away from you, not even close.
Yeah, too fast for them.
And then we move to the giant dragonfly's turns. And the one that does not have Chat on it kind of lands, and then the other one, seemingly acknowledging you and you know, knowing that you're a part of the hive, doesn't seem to have any major issue that you are on it, and it kind of, I guess you can communicate with it. It kind of just says where to.
Yeah, I want to go to that little bastard wizard.
Yeah, so it flies you to, let me just double check distance, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 45, 50. Oh yeah, like it just gets like right up on the little wizard there.
I still want to get a little, because like I want to shoot him, because I do a lot more damage typically.
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
do musket, so I want
I feel like it would like fly like over or like right beside, but it's like giving you some height. We'll give you that. So like you're like 30 feet above the guy, if that's what you would like.
Shooting mammals in a barrel. Yep.
And then the other and Dragonfly doesn't seem to have without any real direction. It's just kind of hanging out in its space. It's not doing anything particular or specific. As we move on to Kyaki's turn.
Okay. I need some math help from my teachers here. 10-foot radius.
We teach English.
10-foot. Well, you gotta know some math, right? 10-foot radius here
diameter
means I need to be 20 feet away to be at the edge. Have something be at the edge of a 10-foot radius sphere. Is that right?
No,
if it's at the center, you have to be 11 feet away.
If you're on the edge of it and you're casting it, then yes.
It's 10 feet. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Could I use my speak with animals to tell the other dragonfly to let Kyaki on it?
I I feel like that could be something you would pull in your next turn. I feel like you've used your turn
That's fair.
communicating with the one.
Okay, so I move to there, and I'm gonna cast Shatter.
Nice. So
So
good.
that does 15 thunder damage to both the dragonfly and the tuning fork.
Wouldn't that hurt Nadir?
Yeah, that'll hit
Well,
in the deer and
Yeah, that'll
Valerius as
kill
well.
him.
Yeah, because he's a
Well, I
construct.
was-
So...
Yeah, that's kind of what I was asking. I was hoping to be right on the edge because he's kind of in the middle of the squares there, right?
Yeah, well, he's
Um,
standing in front of the tuning fork.
Yeah.
So like you're saying you're trying to hit the scorpion in the tuning fork, correct?
I said the
Or the
dragonfly. and the
dragonfly.
tuning fork, actually.
Yeah, if you were hitting the dragonfly, you would also hit in the deer. But if you positioned it to try and hit the scorpion in the tuning fork, you'd be able to miss Valerius in the deer.
Okay, well then I will do that instead. That's the case. But Valerius will probably still have to make a... Okay, so Valerius has... They all have to make a saving throw.
Yeah, and what's the range on like your casting of that?
The range is 60 feet.
If you
Yeah,
would've-
you could put that without
Like
hitting
there?
Valerius. You could hit the scorpion in the tuning fork without hitting Valerius.
Okay, great.
So yeah, so they both take it. The tuning fork, the last two hammers shatter off of the tuning fork, and you know that at this point there's nothing else to keep ringing it. The poor scorpion does take a little bit of damage from the situation.
It and Valerius can make a Constitution save.
Oh yeah, it can make a con save. So its save is a 19, which I believe is a success against yours, right?
It is.
Okay, good. So it manages to, like you see a little bit of its like carapace kind of molt off, but it doesn't seem to be taking any serious amount of damage from that attack.
Yeah, it takes half of 15.
Okay, so then
7.
that takes nice. A little bit of damage from that for sure.
Valerius, are you gonna save on that?
Did
Try
I
and
have
save
to? I
on
thought we positioned.
No,
it so
yeah,
that
he
it could-
you
Oh,
he
no,
would
right,
be
okay.
he would be
Okay.
outside of the radius of it for sure. And then we move on to the illusionist wizard's turn. I mean, seeing this is a very quick turning tide of battle. Oh, the wizard, you see, like kind of like panics for a second, but then steals themselves and goes and throws 2 arcane blasts, one at the dragonfly and one at Chat.
Okay.
So the first one at the dragonfly, that one does not hit, and then the one at Chat, ooh, that's a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that does hit. Yeah.
Okay. And that is 16 damage to Chat.
Yikes.
Ooh, ouch. This
I
guy's
mean, I'm
strong.
still okay, but like, I've been better.
Yeah. And so with the noise now completely subsiding, the one spider is going to just kind of scutter off up the wall and just, get about 15 feet up the wall and just kind of be in a position there. The other dragonfly, seeing its companion moving at that one, at the wizard, is going to move towards it as well. 5, 10, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, get to there. Wait, why am I... What am I doing? Is that right? Is that the... No, it was just the spiders. I don't know why I'm moving that guy. It's not his turn. So the one spider crawls up as we move to Chat's turn.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to take some shots. I can't remember because I've slept since last time. Because I have my extra arms, I can reload and take a second attack still with the musket.
Yeah, you're able to do your. It uses up your bonus action, I believe, is what we had determined in that circumstance. So yeah, you are still able to make double shots with your musket on a turn.
Perfect. Let's see. So that is 11 to hit. Oh, 12. 12.
12 does hit.
Perfect. I forgot about that +1. Okay, so that is 6 damage on the first one. Second one's 15 to hit,
Yep, also hits.
and 8 damage.
Yeah, you put 2 solid shots into their chest, and you see that they're like, you are assuming, I feel like Chad is more than capable of seeing these kind of things, seeing that probably collapsed one of their lungs. Their breathing is very shallow and very like ragged and aggressive, trying to get any breath they can. They are seemingly hanging on by like a thread at this point, though.
Yeah, I fucked him up pretty good earlier, so.
Yeah, they're right on death's door at this point. And we roll back to Nadir's turn. So we need another death save from Nadir.
Just don't roll
Come
on that one.
on, buddy.
Nadir's power core begins to spark as a coil comes off of it.
Poor little guy.
That's his turn. That's a failure.
Oh,
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay, I wasn't
Sorry,
sure if you
sorry.
We were
I
all
was trying to be
waiting.
dramatic. Yeah.
Waiting with
yeah.
bated breath.
Yeah, we were making sure you didn't roll that nat 1 and
That
die.
was
know.
a 9 out of 10.
And then we move to the Scorpion, and it does have a bit of a grudge to pick with the people that were controlling it, kind of keeping it in a position it did not want to be, so it is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, yeah, just stop right there, and it is going to make a multi-attack at one of the bandits there. That does not hit. What is it? Oh god, it should definitely get the kill, I feel like, overall. 15, that does hit damage. Claws him once, hits him for 3 damage, and then goes for its sting attack. Oh, and definitely hits with that. And yeah, just rams its stinger like right through his throat. Gives it a little twist as their head kind of just like flies off. And they are dead.
Yay.
And that is
Little
their
Scorpion.
turn as we move to Valerius's turn.
Cool. With Nadir being a mechanome or whatever they're called. in this.
Monster.
Yeah, an autonome.
Autonome. Mechanome is World of Warcraft. Can he be healed with like conventional means and magic?
Yes.
And everything? Perfect.
That is one of the special features of the autonome as a construct. They're the only constructs that are able to be healed by traditional healing spells and the likes.
Perfect. I'm gonna give him 25 of my lay on hands points.
I'm glad someone finally did it.
I had to get to
Thank you.
him. It was taking me a while.
Yeah. Right.
Funny, he had to
That's-
deal with that other thing.
Yeah, that's my action. And then while he's still kind of getting himself oriented, I feel like bigger concern is the wizard guy, but chat's messing him up. We got this guy over here still, but he's probably about to get messed up by a scorpion.
And maybe even that dragonfly.
And maybe even the dragonfly. The tuning fork, is it totally out of commission then?
Yeah, there's nothing, like, it's not, like, it still stands. If it were hit,
Yeah.
maybe something would happen, but it doesn't seem to be able to make its ringing effect anymore without the hammers that we're swinging at it.
Okay. I am going to, because I have my protector thing with my fighting style, I'm going to ready an action and say that if anything it tries to attack Nadir, I'll put myself in front of it and take that.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Valerius.
Don't mention it.
Died.
Except
so yeah,
give
we-
it to everybody and let everybody
Please
know.
tell
the
everyone,
glory.
but don't mention it while I'm around.
Does
and
he
we
just use his arms as shields?
we then move to the last bandit guy standing there. Oh man, he is a strong-willed man. He steals himself and he runs at the scorpion, ready to start taking, doing whatever he can to survive this situation. And he takes a swing at it. Ooh, he does roll a nat 20. He has his epic moment
wow.
for sure.
Wow.
It's
Second win.
and so he goes there. That is a 5. It's still not much. He does manage to swing with a very solid swing, but the thick carapace of the insect is, doesn't seem to allow like a ton in it. Clearly, you see some green liquid flowing out of it, but the scorpion doesn't seem to be slowed down by the attack by any means. As we move on to the dragonfly's turns. So the one that's just kind of doing its own thing, it's just going to begin flying away. And then the other one is going to quickly ask chat Diabomb. Like, it wants to swing down and try and attack it, but it's giving you like kind of the say on it in a sense.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's going to come down, try and make a flyby attack on it.
And everyone can hear that chat is like telepathically humming Ride of the Valkyries.
And that does hit. What do we got for damage here? Sorry guys, it might steal your glory from you.
Oh no, I'm here for it.
Oh, it definitely does. Yeah, it comes down and gets its revenge as it opens up its maw of mandibles and stuff and just bites the head right off of him, off the wizard, picks it up, gives like chat like a moment to like hop off before it seems to be ready to start taking off, but is slowly kind of chewing away at the head of the wizard as he collapses.
Scary.
I should still have my speak with animals. I think it lasts a minute. Can I just be like, if you'll let me have the head and the arm, you can have the rest.
It is, a little bit in the stage of like chewing a bit, but does spit out the head. It's mostly intact. There's a couple of punctures and maybe the cheeks a little, chewed up. And then it just starts like digging into the chest of the now dead wizard.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I collect my arm and the head.
And then we move on to Kiaki's turn. As there's now one lowly bandit fighting a scorpion.
There's still combat, huh?
Yep.
Okay, I'll just get within like 10 feet of him and throw my dagger twice.
Yeah.
First one probably doesn't hit with a 9.
No. The bandit sees it coming in, is like kind of dodges it. Feels like he's really sly, but then you see like a face of surprise as he sees the dagger pop back in your hand.
Second one definitely hits with a nat 20.
Nice.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so we do 5, so 10 damage to him.
Yeah, you throw your dagger like right into, again, one of its lungs as it dives deep into it, and you see again you've clearly collapsed one of his lungs, and his breathing is so shallow and ragged as he tries to just kind of stay on his feet at this point.
All right. What? He's still alive?
Yeah, just.
Damn,
as
dude.
we roll around to chat's turn.
Man. I don't think there's a whole... Well, actually, we're still... I can fly 65 feet. I forgot about that.
And your musket has more than enough range to hit that last bandit for
Actually,
sure.
yeah, that's true, because I am, like, up high. So, yeah. Gonna blast at him.
Finish him.
That is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, it definitely hits.
That is 8 damage, unless you'll let me have the sneak attack.
I mean, you wouldn't need it anyways. How do you want him to die?
Oh, just like straight through the back of the head.
Yeah, you're nice clean little hole in the front of his head, and then just a massive exit wound out the back as his skull and brain matter splashes over the tent behind him, and he just falls backwards from the momentum of the bullet.
Perfect.
And yeah, that is everything. That everyone that matters is lying dead. The bugs seem to be fairly like quickly back in communication with the hive mind as they scurry off and back to wherever they might need to be going. And then chat would hear the hive mind rolling through its mind, saying, good work. Clearly, you guys have handled the situation. Do you require any cleanup or any further assistance?
No, I'm just bringing you a gift.
And you get as much of an appreciation as a fairly unemotional entity can provide you, and says, return to the auxiliary corps for your reward.
Perfect.
Kyake starts to take some of the scrap metal that we blew off of the tuning fork.
Yeah, I mean, there is some bits and pieces that definitely blew off enough to easily fill a bag, but outside of it, everything else from it seems to be fairly functional. If you want to try and peel off any various, like gears or anything like that, you're more than capable of removing those.
Okay, I'll take about whatever I can carry, honestly. So.
Yeah, you just fill your bag up with scrap metal and you know
Yeah.
various bits and bobs for your
And
tool
like
shop.
every now and then I'm like holding it up to Nadir. I'm like, no, not that one. I put it in my bag.
He's got this massive hole blown through him.
Yeah, like not that one. No.
The wizard, did he have hair? I don't remember the description of him.
Yeah, I feel like it would rock, like a fairly,
The
just
sick mullet.
like, yeah, a sick mullet. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a person who would rock a sick flowing mullet and like the full perm on top to really set it in place.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just like carrying this head by the back of the mullet.
Nice.
Respect the flow, man.
We are a few minutes past our closing time. I feel like we should just wrap that up there, and we will pick this back up in next session where you guys get your quick little payment and then probably head back to see Crumb.
Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was really
congratulations, guys, on surviving
Good-
on a
good
little bit
combat.
tougher of a combat.
I'm also, chat's happy that none of the bugs, insects died. I said it that time.
One giant spider did lose its life in this combat.
Nope.
No,
Not one. He's not
Chad didn't
insect.
see it.
Non-insect.
That's
So-
true.
It is an
Exactly.
arachnid. Good point.
All right. Yeah. Shout outs and plugs. Rick, go.
So I'm Rick, the Dungeon Master for Hammer of the Gods. Find us wherever you get podcasts and Hampod on like pretty much everything. So yeah.
Nice. Kayla, go.
I'm Kayla. I am from the Potions and Potpourri podcast. We are a casual chat D&D podcast. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok.
Nice. Ruin, go.
Hey, I'm Ruin Ortega. I am one of the hosts of Cantrips and Coffee, the podcast that talks to you about what tabletop game you should play next. And you can find me anywhere you find podcasts, as well as Jaden and Cade.
Awesome. Jaden, go.
Yeah, I run Discount Dungeoneering. We provide 3D printed minis and tabletop accessories, as well as a little bit of laser cutting, if that's anything anyone's looking for. We are running a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, which really at this point, I'm just like, it's the end of November sale. Who's even calling it anything like that? Until, the end of November, it's 15% off any orders that are made.
Nice.
He makes really, really good stuff. And I'm Cade. I'm also a co-host on Cantrips and Coffee, but I also make guitars under the name Ravencroft Guitars. You can check that out on Instagram, YouTube, Hive now because Twitter is dead to me, and all other manner of things. So I'm everywhere. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks again, Jaden, and see you guys in a couple of weeks.